Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Fantasy Couch Podcast. My name is Hussein the Brain, and I'm joined with my co-host, Sushane, aka the Dynasty Day Trader. You got a Dynasty segment for us this week?
Oh, we always do, baby. We always do. It'll be a good
Uh,
one. It'll be a good one.
every week that you're able to come on and you're not traveling on the road to coach your team or whatnot, you do have a Dynasty segment ready. So we'll do that this week. My segment that I got prepared is a buy low, sell high segment. Trade
Ooh.
deadline is approaching. I guess one of my leagues, I don't know what I was doing, the couch league, the trade deadline is over. But on Sleeper, I think the standard settings are week 11. So the trade deadline, I don't know if is it different on Yahoo? Is that the standard trade deadline for most leagues?
I would assume so. I'm not sure about Yahoo. I
You're
know on
not on
ESPN it's the
Yahoo.
same thing. I'm not on Yahoo. I am on ESPN, and it is this week. I can confirm
Okay,
that
so
at
let's
least.
just say that's standard, and the chat would let us know because I'm like pretty much sleeper. I do have two ESPN leagues, and since you're saying the trade deadline, the same. So on sleeper, seems like the trade deadline is over on Monday, something like that, roughly,
Yeah,
or
end of this
Tuesday.
week or whatever it is.
Yeah,
Right.
whatever it is. When it says when week 11 ends, regardless. I mean, some people don't have the settings the same way or whatever. Trade deadlines are approaching. That is a fact. So I did want to prepare. This is kind of like the last minute trades you can make. And honestly, I don't see too many because the big trades you could have got already kind of happened. And this is I just went to the Google Doc we have prepared and I saw our previous things. Like I don't delete it right after
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
show. I delete it before, as I add new content for this week. Yeah, Smokey the Cat. Um, it's just a weird name, cool name, but it just caught me off guard. Smokey the Cat saying it's week 11 all around. That's the standard trade deadline. Okay, that's good.
So you were
And I was
saying, right?
like, man, these let me toot my own horn here. These are some amazing things here. I said to sell low on Najee Harris. I guess that's overall good. It's
Yeah,
because Jalen Warren now is the starter for the Steelers. I mean, it's kind of a big deal on a team that they don't score a lot of offensive touchdowns as is. So that
huge
was a
deal.
good
Huge
one.
deal.
Yeah. Buy for free. I mean,
Oh,
you
baby.
can't make
You
this
can't make
up,
this up. That's
folks.
crazy. Wow.
Buy for free. And this was not an exaggeration, like well, I mean, maybe a slight exaggeration, but he was so cheap that on this episode we were discussing that he was available in 10-team leagues. And I've seen him actually with my own eyes available in 10-team leagues. And as we were discussing that, I remember the chat was saying, hey, he's available in my 10-team league. So
Yep.
which is technically free. So Rashad White was free, and I didn't think he'd be doing this good. I thought he'd improve and do a little bit better, but now he's performing at an elite level. It's like not even good. It's elite. He's crushing it. I mean, getting 20
Yeah.
points. I mean, that's amazing for one of the low starting running backs, but one of the more lower end starting running backs. Um, I don't know why I don't have him on too many of my teams. It just worked out that way to where, like he was drafted before me. I got James Conner in one league. I drafted
Got
Cam
you.
Akers instead of him. Even in one league, everyone got drafted. Like we went with Alexander Madison. Like it just was a total coincidence. I was fairly high on him before the season started, and I was pushing him really hard. But man, if you got him for free, that was
Winner.
crazy. Like,
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
wow, I can't
Great
believe he's
call.
on waivers, dude. Like that
10 team? My God. That's
free
crazy.
agency, even like he's just out there. Like, I'm like, bro, like even in a 10 team, like he's a starting running back. And the Bucks aren't even a horrible team. That's the thing. Like, if they're like the absolute worst team, then I guess you got an excuse. But like, they're like an average team.
Decent, yeah, right.
Yeah, it's like they might make playoffs. They might win the division. You know, like
And to your point, I mean, the guy is a starting running back on his football team. There's just not many of those that are going to be available for you for free. So the fact that you got one, again, like you're saying, on a decent team, and he's a decent player, Rashad White. It's not like
he's got a little bit of talent. Yeah, good speed. He can catch. You know, good.
guys
Yeah,
don't become available all the time. So I mean, what a great call! Absolutely love
and
it. Some guys,
and not sharing the snaps at all.
yeah,
Like
hmm
they don't even
very
know
rare.
who the RB2 is. Like I wasn't keeping up on that really, to be honest. And I just read a news report. It said Sean Tucker is now gonna be active because I guess he was a scratch
Okay,
for 3 or 4 weeks. So I'm like, this team doesn't even have a backup running back.
yeah.
Keyshawn Vaughn, I think, was the RB2 for a few weeks.
So I've been making those snap and target graphics last couple weeks. I think it's been Chase Edmonds, but it's not like
Chase
a
Edmonds
legitimate.
has been the RB2.
Yeah,
Okay.
but he's not taking like a legitimate workload enough from Rashad White to be even relevant, right?
Oh
So
no,
it's going
no,
to be
he's not.
yeah,
This is Chase
right,
Edmonds.
right.
Guy's been expired for a couple years. Jerome Ford, this is kind of a split backfield, but it's a team that uses the running back position a ton. So
hmm
when this guy touches the ball 17, 18, 19 times, that's workhorse numbers. He doesn't have a ton of upside, but this is the guy I'd be like, he's the starting running back. Rashad White's so much more. This guy's an elite running back now, but this guy's the starter on a team that knows how to run and use the RB. So this was great. You know, he's got his groove back after that
Yep, for sure, definitely.
injury he just miraculously shook off. Buy for free, Ramondre Stevenson. I'd say this was lukewarm. This was good,
It's
but
all right.
I mean, it doesn't crush it or anything. He's still, even though the team is at now we're talking about one of the worst teams here. Uh, even though the
No
team
doubt.
is that bad, he's still getting the job done, putting up double-digit fantasy points. He's been okay. This one's kind of no comment, I guess. Puka. This one was more of a fun post, as in like 1 out of 10 fantasy managers that have Puka sometimes were fed up with him. I was like, look, if one of those 10 guys are in your league, make a trade offer. He's
Yep,
still
for
good.
sure.
So this was all old content. All right. I just want to make that clear. All old content. Now, I have a question for you guys. We're not going to be answering any questions until at the end of the show, unless it pertains to exactly what we're talking about, because this is an audio podcast and it just sounds weird if we just stop what we're doing to look at the chat every 5 minutes. But I do need chat's interaction here. So this is where you guys step up and you guys help us out for an
Ooh,
exchange.
okay,
I just
okay.
have it's just a poll. That's it. I just have a poll, but I do want the answers for this live poll because I am confused on this. I'm going to ask your opinion too. I am
Sure.
50-50 split with Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard. So the question is, let me get that out so you guys can start answering because there's a delay. So will Tony Pollard turn things around? Yes or no? So just give
Man,
me
what
a
a question.
yes or a no. You could elaborate if you wish or not to. Drew as well. Drew, the producer's on here. Drew, go ahead. You chime in too with the poll. So we already have a no. I'm very torn. We have a guy who's talented. He's a home run threat. He can catch. A lot of fantasy managers are huge fans of Tony Pollard, except for like the past 3 to 5 weeks. It's
Such
turned.
is life. Yep.
It's turned. It's like a social media influencer that's been canceled. Like the tides have turned. Like everybody
Oh
hates you
no.
now. Yeah,
Oh
it's
no,
annoying
Tony
because
P.
remember how big fans people were of Tony Pollard last year, and
Yeah,
everyone it was a played out thing in Discord on social media for 2 years. They're like, give Tony Pollard the ball. He's way better than Zeke. He's way better than Zeke. Well, they just did that. You got your wish. Be careful what you wish for. It just happened. He's been. I was telling people, hey, be patient. You guys are spoiled. You know, just, you have Tony Pollard. Hey, I'm in a league where like I was barely able to get Jerome Ford as my best running back. Like you guys are spoiled, man. And turns out that there was something to be worried about. He was really bad. And he's been terrible. Rico Dowell outscored him, which I get it from the game script, but it's kind of the
right.
last straw when you're in a fantasy manager's perspective. It's like, dude, like this guy's like, is this guy ever going to score? Ever gonna turn it around? Dak's on fire. The Cowboys on power rankings have worked their way up into a top 7 team now. CeeDee
Yep.
Lamb's on fire. The defense is still pretty good. It's going to be a little inconsistent here and there, but still great defense.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, really good defense. So, like, is Tony Pollard going to turn it around? And so let me tally the polls, and then I'll turn to you, Sushane, to see if you
Sure. I'm
have
interested to see
anything
what the
to
guys
add.
have to say about this. The listeners.
So Drew, our producer, says yes. So we got. Let me just count. Let me count the no's. That'll be easy. There's a lot of no's. 1 no. 2 no's. 3 no's. 4 no's. Okay. I'm a Cowboys fan. I see a split backfield. Everyone I follow who's Cowboys inside. That's a no. 5. 6 no, but still can't drop them. All right, bro. Nobody
Wow.
asked. Nobody's talking about dropping. That's
So we're just simply saying, can you turn it around for you?
that, dude. That's like that's like it's just such a crazy Travis. That comment is just uncalled for. That's crazy. That's like me being like, you know what, like this guy, like he was just driving slow or something, to be like, well, did you murder him? Like, no, I did
No,
not
come on.
murder him. I
That's
didn't even
ridiculous.
honk my horn. Actually, I just went along and did my. You can't drop him. I can't drop him. I mean, I get
Oh man.
the tone he's making. Like he's like, you know, what can you do? But it's like,
Right.
you can't drop. Like, I mean, obviously, dog, you can't. It's so obvious you can't drop him, dude. I wish somebody would drop him in that league where like Jerome Ford is my best player.
That'd be
Please,
great. Easy pickup.
yeah,
Yeah, you need
I'll
that.
pick
You
him
need
up.
that now, for
I mean,
sure.
he won't be as good as Rashad White. So we got, wait, how many no's was that until this guy
I
said
think
no?
it
You
was
can't
6
drop.
no's.
6. No, 6 or 7. Oh, okay, good. Our producers killing it. 6-1, and the only no is from him. Okay, I mean, like, the only yes is from him.
The only
Okay,
yes, yeah.
so
The only
all right, so
positive.
go ahead and cast your vote. I mean, it won't change the poll, but I mean, see if you have an opinion on this matter.
All right, I'm gonna talk myself through my opinion because I'm also kind of like you in that
Yeah, you
50-50
didn't.
thing. So
I brought this. You didn't know I was going to bring this
yeah,
up. Yeah.
yeah. So the positives are, I mean, yeah, the Cowboys' offense definitely trending in the right direction. Okay. Um, Tony Pollard, it's not like the other running backs in his team are, quote unquote, uber talented, right? He's supposedly, you would think, the most talented runner on the team, hopefully. Man, but the issue is that, I mean, again, I like the idea of that split back carry because I haven't seen Rico Dowdle. I mean, he does have some juice. It's definitely a guy that, as a football team, you want to use that, right? You don't nowadays you don't want to have one guy take the full load. You want to, if you can, try to spread the wealth a little bit if you have the talent to do so, and they do have that. So that definitely is going to hurt Pollard. Man, oh man, the more I talk through this, the more I actually do lean no, just because it's like, I mean, what's the cost to do business, right? Because I mean, yes, it's people are definitely frustrated with him, but as one of the commenters just
We can't
said, you
drop
can't
him.
drop him,
Can't
can't drop
drop
him.
him. Can't drop him.
Can't drop him, but are you going to trade? Are you going to quote unquote sell low for him? And if that's the case, then how low? Like, what's the price?
Yeah.
So, I mean, man, based on that, like, sure, like if I'm getting him for dirt cheap, basically a waiver claim, or like trade like a defense or something when I need a running back, I'm in. Okay. But man, like if we're talking like obviously I'm a dynasty guy. If I have to trade a first round pick to go win it all with Tony Pollard, I'm probably not
Which
going to
was
do
a question today on my Twitter,
it.
which I
It
asked you
was.
guys about. Yeah, asked your guys' opinion on. Yeah,
Like
that
that's
was a
not
good
something I would
question.
do because he does not strike me as that guy who's going to take my team over the top. If I'm
Yeah.
struggling at RB and I'm desperate to win, different story, okay? But I don't think he's going to take me over the top. So I'm going to lean no. But I mean, I could still see a path, I guess. But I'm just going to go with no. If gun to my head,
Yeah. I'm also as you're talking, I'm thinking, I'm listening to you. I'm going with no as well. And Get Her Done brought up something. Um, yeah, exactly,
That's a good point.
Travis. Like it's not. We're just joking here. And I thought it was very funny that you said you can't drop them because we're like we're such an advanced. I mean, we're doing a fantasy football podcast. Like there's just some things like we know, like right. Yeah,
Right.
we're not on level zero. This is not level zero. Like been doing fantasy cash for 14 years. This is not level zero. Like
Right.
we're level something. I don't know what level we're
But
on,
we're
but
somewhere in the, not
we're
on
higher.
ground
Yeah, we're
zero.
way higher up. I mean, some people's listening to a fantasy live show at what is it on the East Coast? It's almost midnight. You got to
Oh
go to
yeah.
work tomorrow. Yeah. No, Get Her Done said this. Okay, he said, I'm a Cowboys fan. I see a split backfield. Everyone I follow is Cowboys insiders. That just kind of struck me there, too. So, all that
Yeah.
combined, I'm going to say no as well. And then we got that question today, which I forgot about. You just reminded me when you were talking. Somebody asked me on Twitter, should I trade Tony Pollard for a first? And you responded and said, hey, even a late first is worth more than Pollard. And I'm thinking back to last year in the couch Dynasty League, Jordan traded a first for Eckler, who's older, but that's a needle mover. And
Yes.
Eckler did
Yes.
go off. He's was like the best RB last year. Basically, he was.
Right.
Because it more so matters during that span, but also during that span, I think he was even hotter. So the best RB, definitely a needle mover, and definitely helped them kind of solidify that championship. He traded for him right before the fantasy playoffs, and we were talking about Tony Pollard is not going to move the needle. Like regardless, even if we're wrong, like we don't think so. Rico Dow is there doing the pass game. Yeah, I'm gonna say no. He's not gonna turn it around. And then you got to think like you're talking about the price, which means like realistically, what does that mean? Well, I mean, other than this guy tried to keep it real, but didn't add too much here.
Right.
You can't drop him. That's right. So that's rule. That is level zero. That's level zero analysis. So first of all, you can't drop him. So what are we talking about? So and no one else is dropping them either. So you can't add them off waivers. So
Right.
it's either you're selling low or you're buying low. And when it comes to buying low, the price would have to be dirt cheap. And you know what, dude? I don't think the price is as cheap as Rashad White's. Surprising. It's so weird to say now, but Rashad White's price was actually free.
Yeah.
I think I could have got Rashad White for like not even a great defense. I think the Steelers D would have got it done.
Wow, that's
it
crazy,
really would have.
Oh my god.
And people were
That's crazy
dropping
to think
them.
about. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that's how it is. That's how,
Yeah.
people's emotions is very week to week this year.
Tony Pollard, like I probably wouldn't trade Gus Bus for him because Gus Bus has been doing great. He's been
Killing
performing
it,
at
yeah.
a near elite level the past 5 weeks. Yeah, I guess
Touchdown
it's just a
machine.
no-go. It's a no-go unless you have a ton of wide receivers. Would you trade Brandon Ayuk for Pollard?
No.
I think that's
No.
close though. I think it's close. I think Pollard.
PPR, I don't think so.
I think Ayuk is more valuable than Pollard. I just want to make that clear. So a little
I
bit
think in
less.
PPR is scoring
Would
more
it be?
points.
Yeah. I'm just.
Yeah.
But let's say, like, I'm sure you just today you probably seen a team with 7 wide receivers. So the team has 7 wide receivers. They need an RB. You see what I mean? Like in that case, I think Pollard is more. I mean, Ayuk is more valuable. I think maybe a wide receiver just a tad worse than Ayuk. What does Zay Flowers? Zay Flowers for Pollard. Would that get it done?
I think
so.
so.
That would because that's the thing. Zay Flowers. I like how he looked today, but he's a very low upside wide receiver. I've been benching him lately, and I think the benching has been good. Good decisions with the benching. So a guy I'm benching, a guy with low upside. I would trade Zay Flowers for Pollard. I think Zay Flowers is a little bit worse than Ayuk. So Zay Flowers
I would agree with that, and I like that price. At that price, that's something that if I need a running back, I would I would
But imagine
seriously consider that
trading
one.
Pollard for Zay Flowers. That's like almost as bad as dropping him, which is the ultimate sin
Hey
here
man,
on the
RB is tough though,
Couchcast.
right? How is he gonna find
Yeah.
him?
All right. So that was
So
I just thought that was interesting because it was kind
yeah,
of a I mean it's a real I think it's a real good topic, real good debate. Um
it's not an easy answer. I mean, I know a lot of us picked no. I think the final vote, including us two, would be like 8-1. So it
8
seems like a
to
landslide. But as you saw, the thought process is kind of, you weren't too sure. We're kind of leaning that way. But it's a good question. It's a good question.
would you trade Pollard for a second and Warren? That's you can answer that.
Oh boy. Okay. Um. Hmm.
I
Okay.
I think that's
So
a yes. That's a yes for
24
me.
second. Yeah. I think I'm just gonna lean yes because I think the 24 second, even if you don't turn that in on draft day to get a player, I think you're just going to end up getting someone better or at least, more production than Pollard because of how perceived, this class, the 2024 rookie class, is perceived to be pretty deep. I kind of disagree with that, but, that we'll get to that in a later day. Because of that, though, the value of these second round picks is probably going to be there, especially if it's in that mid tier thing. And, trading Pollard to get a second, there's a chance you actually might make this team worse. There's a chance Jalen Warren could outscore Tony Pollard, and you just get a second round pick that the guy is thinking I'm giving up a late second round pick, and it ends up being closer to early or mid. So I kind of like this idea. Now, how do you feel about Jalen Warren though? Because that's a
Yeah,
big one.
they're Jalen Warren and Tony Pollard are roughly on the same.
Then
They're
it seems like a no
pretty
brainer to
much
me. Then
equal. Yeah, that's why
yeah,
this is a no. On top of that, you're getting assets. You can trade up. You can trade do whatever you want with that second. And I'm pretty sure Jalen Warren's younger. So you're getting much
yes, he
younger.
is.
You're getting a
Mhm.
second round pick who is -1 years old essentially. Right? He's not even in the NFL yet. He's 21 years old, 22 years old. Or 20 years old now, right? And then you're
Right.
getting Jalen Warren, who's a couple years younger than Pollard. Boom! Like that's a
Sounds like a good
win-win.
dynasty rebuild, retool type of move. I
Or
agree.
just the move. I think it's just a
Just a move.
generic move. Yeah, just the move you make. Like Tony Pollard struggling, and Jalen Warren just got named the star. This literally happened like 1 day ago, 1 or 2 days
Recent,
ago.
recent, huh? Okay.
Yeah, 1 or 2 days ago it just
Sure.
happened. Yeah, like we haven't even seen, and it wasn't huge news. Like it wasn't um like only people that are really into fantasy football and Steeler Nation
Yeah.
know about that.
Yeah. This seems like a no-brainer then. I mean, if you're telling me Warren and Pollard are on the same level production-wise, Warren's a little younger, you're getting the second round pick, which is it's not like a throwaway pick, like a third or a fourth or a fifth round pick. Like those are kind of like, all right, whatever, fine. Second round pick, I mean, that's not a sure shot you're going to get a starting caliber player on your fantasy football team, but there's a good chance. Good chance. So I like that. I like that move.
24 Keeling says you're the GOAT. I think he's talking about me. Thank you.
He's definitely talking about you.
Oh yeah. You
Oh
never
yeah.
know. Maybe he's just he
Who
hit maybe
knows?
he
Who
hit
knows?
maybe he hates redraft.
Hey man, his username has got 24 in it. So could be talking to
Wow.
the 2024. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see.
Oh God, no. You're thinking wait, absolutely not. That's cringe, bro. No way. I would
Hey man,
trade
you never
him
know.
for a first. Yeah, I mean that's not too many people's offering that though.
That's the whole thing, yeah.
Yeah,
Who's
and
giving you
that's
the
not
first?
it's not happening. So the question was actually the guy was I think he was trying to offer a first for Tony Pollard is what it seemed like. So yeah, not too many people's offering a first. But I mean someone's offering a second and Jalen Warren. Boom boom. There you go. That's
Yeah,
pretty
that's a good
good.
move.
That's almost a first. That's pretty close. Second plus Jalen Warren. That's almost a first.
And here's another thing. This is a thought that kind of just popped in my head. Those of you who bought Tony Pollard while he was still the handcuff to Zeke, you probably paid a second round pick to get him. That trade, you're getting more back. Now, I'm not saying that the commenter Richard, who is asking the question, I'm not suggesting that you specifically made that move for Pollard and now you're going to sell him off. But that was basically what his value was, and the fact that you can still, after a not a great season so far, pretty subpar production. The fact that you can still get more than what most people paid for, it's a great move. Great move. More I think about this, more I love it.
We gotta just, man, I kind of brushed over this new. I saw someone talking about it, and I don't know why I thought it was something else. So, Harbaugh just said, like 15, 20 minutes ago that Mark Andrews has a serious ankle injury and it could be season ending. So he's probably out for the season, which is
Wow.
nuts. Yeah, and I've been saying it a lot, and it's been the worst fantasy football season I've ever witnessed in my years of playing. Drew's probably been playing the longest. So when Drew first played back in high school, he would, a producer who's on, I'm gonna ask him, is this the worst season he's ever witnessed? So he would play. First year he played was newspaper cutouts before
Oh,
the
no way. Let's
yeah,
go.
yeah. They looked at
OG,
the
quite literally.
newspaper and they used the calculator. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, oh man, that was
So he's been around for a little bit, so he can have a real good
yeah.
assessment here of
This
just
has
how
gotta
bad
be the
2023
worst
is.
season. Yeah, and it was today was so disgusting. Joe Burrow. Okay, he says yes by far. Joe Burrow injured, Mark Andrews injured, and Lamar like
Lamar had a scare. Yep.
yeah, he had a huge scare. I mean, he's not 100%. Something's wrong with him for sure. It's crazy how his foot or whatever is screwed up and he's still like insanely
Yeah.
athletic. Like it's
And
crazy. He
even
can't even run well and he's good.
I know, and even I know most fantasy football players don't care for this name anymore too much. But even Odell Beckham Jr. He was having a great game today. He got 15 plus points in PPR. He goes down with an injury late in the game. I mean, he could have even gotten
He got hurt?
he got hurt. Yeah, he got hurt at the end. He made that one last catch for like a
How
good like
bad is
20
it?
yards or whatever, and then he got hurt. He didn't return to the game, so I don't know how bad it is, but just
Oh,
add that to the
wow.
list.
No. I don't know
Yeah,
why. I remember the play. He ran out of steam a little bit, got hit pretty hard from the
yeah.
back, and then
I don't think he came back in the
wow.
game because I was against him and I was monitoring that. I was looking for Odell versus Jamar
Wow.
Chase. So
Man, yeah, every game is like, dude, it's just disgusting. I was half joking and being telling on Twitter, be like, hey, pause the season, pause it. Let's just wait 4 weeks. Let's let Devon A chain and then come back. Like, let's wait 4 weeks. Now, I, I just want to cancel it. I just got to
honestly,
speak
man,
from the heart. It's been the most disgusting season ever. Odell Beckham has a shoulder injury. It's been so
it's
bad.
tough,
Like,
bro.
just
Yeah.
cancel it. Like, it's just heartbreaking. Like, especially because I met a lot of these guys. I work with a lot of these guys. I'm in a league with a lot of these guys. I respect them, and it's just too much. Like, it's too much, man. It takes all the fun out of it when there's so many just injuries going on all the time, left and right. Every time you watch a game, it's like which star player is going to get injured? Oh man.
See, that's a good point you brought up. It takes the fun away. I remember just 4 hours ago, maybe 5 hours ago, whatever the time is now. I'm texting my friends, yo, Ravens, Bengals, Burrow, Lamar, gonna be a great game. Epic. Jamar Chase, Mark Andrews, all these guys. It's gonna be a fantasy galore. It's an absolute explosion. Great game too. AFC North football, that type of physical brand. And then I'm looking like, all right, well, last week we had an absolute haymaker of a game, Bears versus Panthers, and that's basically been Thursday night football for the last I don't know how many years or how many weeks in a row. And then this happens. So the one time we finally get a game that you could possibly enjoy and be excited about, Joe Burrow goes down, Lamar misses some, Mark Andrews gets hurt early. It's crazy, man. It really does ruin the fun, kind of ruin the viewing experience of it a little bit, because once Joe Burrow left, I mean, we kind of all knew how that game was going to go. Ravens blowout, just a matter of time. Now I'm looking at my clock, being like, all right,
Yeah.
when's this podcast starting?
Yeah,
That's basically what I want to.
so valuable to the team. Like he
Yeah,
drives that team. If he misses significant time, their season's over. It's done. I was actually very surprised by the backup quarterback. He played well,
he
but
did. He did, sure.
yeah,
At the same
Jake
time, man, it's not
Browning
Joe
or
Burrow.
something.
Yeah, Browning. Browning,
That
Jacob
does
Browning,
kind of sound like an offshore Joe Burrow name.
Jacob Browning,
JB, JB,
JB. Yeah,
JB, get out there.
I'm
Yeah,
with you.
JB. Yeah, Jake Browning.
All
It's like
right,
a more of a poop, like a poo-poo version of Joe Burrow.
your backup Joe Burrow. I love it. Okay,
Yeah, like gassy Burrow. Yeah, like
Gassy Burrow.
yeah. Jake Brown. I think that's his name. I don't even know if that's his name for sure. Jake
I know
Browning.
it's Browning.
It
I know
sounds
it's for
right.
sure
It
Browning.
sounds right. That sounds.
Jay
We'll have
Browning sounds right. Yeah,
we'll
we'll go
have
with that.
somebody correct it if it's not Jake. Who should we pick up? So actually, Isaiah Likely's not it anymore. It used to be Isaiah Likely would just come in, and for some reason it's not. I wouldn't even pick him up unless you're in a deep league or as a tight end too. You know who you could pick up? Gerald Everett. We would talk about Gerald Everett. Me
Mm,
and Sushane behind the scenes a lot, trying to plot and trade for him. He's a guy scoring no fantasy points, but if he's healthy, should be a huge part of this offense moving forward. Since all the Chargers wide receivers are injured, Justin Herbert's a great quarterback. They throw it a ton. Look at their OC. Like everything just lines up for Gerald Everett. Other than, I guess, the main concern with Everett would be Donald Parham, where they kind of split snaps in a way to generalize it. Parham is involved in the offense enough and in the red zone to hurt Gerald Everett. But this is a team that likes to throw the ball. So Gerald Everett could be a cool like free ad. I think I just dropped him. And even though I like him, I just dropped him. I have Dalton Schultz and Kincaid. So I think I just dropped him. 3 tight ends is kind of a waste.
yeah. I think there's one thing
Yeah.
that you're not mentioning, but it is kind of obvious, but I'm just going to say it anyway. If you drafted Mark Andrews and you lost Mark Andrews, you're really just not going to be able to fill that void. So, to your point, try to get Gerald Everett, try to get those types of guys who just chase points each week, play the matchups. I mean, just do it the best you can at this point because obviously, when you draft Mark Andrews with that high draft capital, not only are you spending that early pick, but you're basically saying, okay, Mark Andrews, this is my tight end. This is my set and forget type of guy. Now that I have him, I don't need to worry about, depth at tight end, for instance. Well, now it's all over, right? So you're not going to be able to replace that, but do the best you can. Gerald Everett, great name as a guy you could, possibly pick up to fill that void.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna pick up a guy, you're gonna keep it moving. Yeah, but it's it's almost like if you drafted Kelsey and you lost him. It's similar, similar, not as bad, but almost as bad as
It's
that.
pretty bad. Yeah.
All right, guys. Let's talk about some less depressing topics. Let's go into the buy low, sell high. And I lied. I have no sell highs for you guys. I could say CeeDee Lamb. I think he will drop off in his numbers a little bit, but that's just because he's so scorching hot right now, getting 30, 40 fantasy points. Okay, he'll come down to 20, 25, sure, but he's got great matchups and I don't think it's that bad. I don't think he's gonna like come crashing down or anything. So there's really no sell lows. You just gotta kind of just like the theme of this season, just gotta survive, make the trades as you see fit. But I do have some pretty good buy low candidates. And just like we've always talked about with these previous candidates, it's going to depend from league to league. Some leagues, these prices are going to be really high. Some leagues, you're not going to be able to get them. So, think about that before you call me a big dummy. Don't do that. Especially with the guys I just brought up. How could you call me a big idiot?
Those are
Rashad White for free. Ooh. It's literally what it says. Rashad White for free. I mean, who doesn't like free?
Too good.
It's like, yeah. Free.
Hope you took the
free
advice
99.
Though. Yeah. Free 99. Now you gotta put that into action. You can't just listen to this and then listen to it. You gotta go out and do it. It's the whole thing.
Well, buy low on Kyren Williams. So here's the thing: Kyren Williams coming back week 12. Checked out with my doctors. The doctors are saying you shouldn't really expect any dip in performance at all, especially for a young guy. So no problem in the dip of performance. As far as snap count or sharing time with other RBs, maybe he won't be the 100% guy, 90% guy we've seen, but he should easily get that lead role. because there's not really been too much from Darrell Henderson and Royce Freeman. Those guys are kind of fighting for touches. So this guy should easily be the lead back. This is the type of back that Sean McVay likes. I don't think Darrell Henderson is enough to just hold off Kyren Williams. And because there is that type of question mark, like I'm saying, I don't think he's going to get 90 to 100% of snaps. Maybe you'll be able to buy low because of that mystery. But other people who, like me, think he's still going to get 70% plus. Maybe the price is too high. And that's when I'll pass because I'm stingy. I like cheap stuff. I like good value. So maybe he's going to be good value in your league. Maybe not. Depends who's rostering him. Maybe it's a spoiled guy with a ton of RBs who hates the Rams. Or maybe it's this guy who's just dying for Kyren Williams to come back and has a lot of faith in him and is a huge fan. You never know. Because there was a lot of Kyren Williams trades in the beginning. Maybe this guy traded everything to go get Kyren Williams. So getting him from that guy might be harder. Next up, Isaiah Pacheco. But we got to kind of be realistic here. This is a team. It's not an RB team. It's a Patrick Mahomes team, and it's always will be a Patrick Mahomes team. Still is a great offense. Still is a team that doesn't use Clyde Edwards-Helaire at all. Literally, not an exaggeration. He's completely phased out. Doesn't even suit up. Doesn't even take snaps. And Jerick McKinnon is getting less work than he was last year. Jerick McKinnon gets like 1 carry, 3 carries, 3 targets. Those are his numbers. So he's getting about 4 to 5 opportunities a game. Other than that, that's all Pacheco. And this kind of reminds me of maybe like, Brett Favre on the Packers or Aaron Rodgers on the Packers. Like that was more in the early days, a long time ago. So I was definitely like centered around the quarterback. It wasn't a team. It wasn't a ground and pound team. And still, though, when they were hot, still that RB would always be a top 12 RB. They'd never be the absolute number 1 RB, but it would be a top 12 RB. And that's what I'm expecting out of Pacheco, a low end RB1. We're talking RB 11, RB 10 moving forward. I think that's very realistic. He's more involved in the pass game. They don't have a lot of weapons. As long as this team is clicking and they're playing well, I like it. I don't know the exact reason why Pacheco is struggling. The defense is playing good. The offense is up and down in games. Sometimes in the game they look good. Sometimes they don't. Still though, man, when you got an offense this good, and this is their only running back and he's really talented, I think he's a good buy low. And when I say buy low, I mean buy low, buy cheap. I'm stingy. I'm cheap. Don't overpay for him. There's no need. He's doing pretty bad.
Can I add one thing before you go on here? So Isaiah Pacheco, me and you, we co-own a $250 high stakes Dynasty best ball league. We traded a presumably late 2024 second for Pacheco straight up. That's what he means when he says buy low. Since then, in the last week, his Dynasty price has skyrocketed. I'm already seeing him go in multiple leagues for a 2025 first round pick straight up.
Dynasty is so different though.
So different, right?
It's went down in redraft.
Sure. But what I'm trying to say is if you're going to buy low, if you're going to be stingy, you got to act a little bit quick. This one's I would say have a little bit of a sense of urgency here because his value is actually climbing up and up and up a little bit.
I do agree in redraft. I mean, trade deadline is going to be over anyway, but I agree in redraft as well because it's just going to take one good game for the price to skyrocket. Yeah. And then the last guy we got, again, like I have to give fair warning. We're talking about a team who's on a not so high octane of an offense. This team scores 1 offensive touchdown a game. When they score 2, they're cheering. It's like they won the Super Bowl. So it's not a high-powered offense, not a lot of touchdowns. And this guy doesn't score a lot of touchdowns, but he's a PPR machine. He's going to get targets. Yes. He just had 1 bad game. And if that's going to cause the price to be low, I'm going to take it. Again, if it's a guy who values Deontay Johnson, I'm not paying up for this guy. But if it's a guy who has recency bias and or a ton of wide receivers, they probably don't value Deontay Johnson. He just put up a stinker. Go get him. Absolute target monster. Like, I don't see in PPR leagues. I love him. I'm comfortable starting him every week in full PPR.
That's most leagues. Wow. Okay. You heard
Yeah,
that there first.
we all
Then.
play full PPR. Okay, that's it
Well, buy
for
Deontay.
the buy lows. Just really quick, I said buy low on Deontay Johnson, Pacheco, and Kyron Williams, and we talked about Tony Pollard and how disgusting the season has been for 30 minutes. So, without further ado, let's go on to the Dynasty segment of the week.
All right. So, how do I even want to start this? All right, I'll start with this actually. You mentioned earlier, a lot of guys know this too. I do coach college football. I'm a tight ends coach. And sometimes as a coach, you really want your players to learn a few things, really intricate stuff. But there comes a point in time where, you're kind of like, man, I really want to teach these guys, these three things. But man, what they really need right now is for me to work on that. I really want to do these things, but these guys need that. So I got to focus my time and energy on that. And that's kind of what's going to happen in today's Dynasty segment for today, Couch. Obviously, I would like to cover more prospects. That's what I do. That's what I enjoy doing. That's why I like fantasy football. That's why I play Dynasty. We've covered some guys in 2024. We covered a few guys in 2025. 2026 will be getting very soon. But I kind of realized that, especially over the last 3, 4, 5 days, I'm getting a lot of questions, just trade questions in general, and people are just lost. Honestly, they're just lost as to what to do. It's not like they're sending bad trade questions. Like, sure, in a vacuum, we love that saying, in a vacuum. In a vacuum, the trades that they're showing me, yeah, they're kosher, they're fine, they're great, whatever. But then when I look at their team, it's like, okay, I mean, yeah, sure, the trade is cool, but like, what does this do for your team? So people are kind of getting lost in that. They're just kind of trading just to trade, not really having a goal in mind or whatever. So I kind of want to take a step back, not cover, specific players, but let's talk about some tips and tricks here that you can use to, I guess, improve your Dynasty roster, improve your thinking of how to construct a Dynasty roster. So, Couch, we don't play in 10-team leagues. We play in 12-team. So I've got 12 tips and tricks for you. Again, these are no longer the basic stuff, right? I got 10 kind of, let's call it Dynasty 200, right? English 101. That's like your basic English class in college. 200 level, a little bit more advanced. Not all the way. We're not, in those higher level classes just yet. But we're definitely, past the beginner stuff, right? So I got 12 tips and tricks for you guys today. And I have a bonus one as well if you are a rebuilder or a win now team. Let's get right into it. I'm telling you guys, a lot of these things you've never heard before. Some of them you certainly have, but a lot of them you have not, including this first one, which is when you do a startup, there is a right year to do a startup and there is a wrong year to do a startup, and people do not know this. And it's I don't want to say it's crazy to me, but if you have the information available to you, you should be able to figure it out, right? And what do I mean by this, right? Think about a Dynasty startup, right? This year, if you're doing a Dynasty startup right now, today, okay, you'll have your 2023 picks, which is going to be guys like, the startup draft picks. So like McCaffrey will be taken, Saquon will be taken, guys like Garrett Wilson, Jerry Jeudy, et cetera, right? Then you'll have the 2024 draft class. We're telling you already, it's a nice class. It's really good. And then the following year is 2025. And that's it. Those are the only picks available to you to move around in a startup that you do right now. Here's why this year it was not a good year to do a startup, right? People will always value the rookie pick that's coming up the soonest, the most, for the simple reason that it's the shortest wait. Makes sense. Makes logical sense. Why trade for a first round pick 3 years down the road when I can just get one next year? Makes sense. However, the advantage of trading for a pick so far and out in advance is that you can get it for even cheaper. Because you can say in the negotiation, hey man, I would rather get the pick next year, but if you're willing to give me a little bit of a discount, I can wait 3 years out. You can keep your pick next year, further build your team, instant gratification. Everyone's into that, right? So because of that, when we have a year like 2023, this year, where the value, the buy low, the cheap rookie picks are in a bad class, that doesn't do you any advantage. What you want to do is you want to do a startup next year, because all of these high value rookie picks, like the Marvin Harrisons that we've talked about, Caleb Williams, Drake Mayo we've mentioned, those guys are going to be picked in your startup. And then the rookie picks that everyone values the most because they're the most recent is going to be from 2025, which is a bad class. And the ones that you're going to be able to buy low are 2026, which we will get into soon, a great class. So it just makes way more sense to do a startup next year as opposed to this year, just because of how you can maneuver the value of the picks. Does that make sense? If it does, we can move on to number 2. Find the golden year, right? Number 2, play your strengths, right? Now, I'm glad we have me and you on this here today, Couch, because we kind of have, I don't want to say we have opposite strengths. We definitely overlap in a lot of categories, but we do see the game a little bit different, right? For example, for me, I'm super into the rookies. I watch a lot of college ball. I know I'm pretty knowledgeable about the future of the classes and everything. And for you, you actually have a really good redraft mind, because you're able to find the value. You're able to find Jaylen Warren and talk about him in the preseason and be like, hey, man, Najee Harris, blah, blah, blah. It could be Jaylen Warren later. In a dynasty league, when you find value like that, it's really trying to find the discrepancies between redraft and dynasty. For example, Keenan Allen will be a great one, right? In redraft, you're going to have to pay up. If you want to trade for Keenan Allen right now, you're going to have to pay up because he's a top 3, top 5, whatever it is, receiver this season. But in Dynasty, you don't have to pay up because he's almost or surpassed 30 years old. So those are the types of value moves that you would want to make to kind of leverage, the redraft or whatever compared to Dynasty. And what I've noticed is that people who play fantasy football and are good at finding the value, like you, like a few other captains that I talk to quite often, those guys are simply better at going into a Dynasty league with the win now mindset, because they can find that value. They can find that value and they can win right now. And it's so difficult, Couch, to find a value pick that's going to be worth it 2 years out. It's much easier to do that in the now when you know the situation, who's out, who's injured, who's going to get production. On the flip side, if you're me, I know how to work picks. I know how to either collect a bunch of them, use them on rookie players, trade out to get cornerstone pieces. I'm just good with that. It's a strength of mine, and that's why I like to do that. So again, there's different ways to skin a cat here. There's 1,000 ways to win a dynasty league. So play to your strength, play to the way that you can create the strongest and most competitive roster. Let's move on. Okay. So again, if we're talking rebuild versus win now, here's where people struggle, right? People struggle when they build a super old roster and they have their 24 first and their 25 first and their 26 first, and they're saying, all right, I've got my roster and I'm going to use these picks to kind of replenish and build a pipeline and whatever. It sounds great in theory until you realize that someone else in your league went all in and they just have a team that's better than yours for this season. So now you've lost this season. Okay, now next year, all of your old guys that you drafted in the startup, they're a year older. Your rookie pick that you're saying you're going to use for your pipeline, okay, well, he's a rookie. He's not going to show out and ball out week 1. It's going to take him 5-6 weeks. So maybe you wasted another season. And then by the time you kind of figure out, like, oh man, I used these 3 picks to develop my pipeline, but the rest of my team sucks now. They're all old and I didn't win anything. So what happens is, like, you need to at some point go all in. Now, if you want to do this from the jump, go all in for a win now roster, by all means, go ahead. Or if you want to do the opposite, go all out for a rebuild, do it. But what I would say is have all of the assets on your team, or maybe not all, but as many as you can, work to one specific championship window. Not just 1 year, but maybe, like, a couple seasons, 3 seasons, something like that. Try to develop that window and have all of your players on that team, on that roster, work to that window. That's tip number 3. Let's go on to the 4th one. So you got to know the risks and the rewards with the strategy, right? Let's first talk with win now. Well, if I'm going all out to win now, Couch, it's very obvious what the risk is. The risk is, well, I mortgaged my entire future to win it, and I did not win it. You know what I mean? That's the risk. And if you lose the season, then you go into the offseason and be like, oh man, I've got no picks. I've got, such few assets to really maneuver around that people really want and that are desirable. I'm just kind of stuck. That's the risk of going all in to win. And then, of course, there's the risk of going all out and rebuilding, man. You can just draft Treylon Burks, thinks he's a stud like we still do. I'm still high on him. I still have a lot of hope. But let's look at the game log. It's not good. He hasn't been scoring points. As much as I like the talent and the prospect and this and that and the measurables and the skill set and draft guide and whatever, it's all great until you look at the numbers. And that's what matters in fantasy football. So the risk of going into a rebuild is that, okay, maybe I get 15 first-round picks. 8 of them could be busts. That's the real risk. You run a real risk by going full rebuild and half of your team just doesn't pan out. Let's move on to number 5. Oh, my favorite one. My favorite one. And man, if 2023 doesn't teach you a lesson about this, then I do not know what will. Quantity is everything. Everything, everything, everything. When I build my quote-unquote final form rosters, Couch, I don't just have like 3, hammer RBs, for example. I've got McCaffrey, ETN, Eckler, JT on one roster, for example. So I really try to build it with quantity because I know, hey man, my mentality is if McCaffrey goes down, bang, I'll start JT. If JT goes down, bang, I still got ETN and Eckler or whoever. I still have guys. Quantity is everything. Now, I just named 4 studs, right? It could still be Pacheco and Jerome Ford and some other guys, Rashad White, fine. But you need quantity because I promise you, when you're in the off season, it's August. You're counting down the days till kickoff. You look at your roster and you're like, oh man, I cannot wait. I got Derrick Henry. I got a whole team. My depth's a little thin, but it's a really good starting roster. Yeah, I got news for you, man. You're gonna suffer an injury because we all do every single year. So it's up to you. Are you going to be the guy who gets caught up in the injury and whose roster starts flailing because you're not prepared? Or are you going to be the guy who prepares for the injury so you know that when Derrick Henry or whoever goes down, you'll have another guy to plug in? And if that guy goes down, you have another guy to plug in. Now, if you have 5 injuries, okay, that's a different story. But make sure you prepare yourself for injuries. Same thing, likewise, for busts also, right? One of the strategies that I implement all the time in my startups, I hoard draft picks. And I hoard draft picks because, it's not like I'm going to use all of them fine. But like, even if I have to, and even if I pick busts, the idea is that I would have such a large quantity of draft picks that even if I pick 10 guys who bust, I'll still have like 7 or 8 who are hits. That's the idea of going with the quantity approach there. And quantity is everything, whether you win now, whether you rebuild, whether you retool. I'm telling you, you want to win your league, you better be prepared for multiple injuries because it will happen. That's number 5. Let's move on.
In redraft, it's the opposite. Was what I preach: quality over quantity. But that's because you can't go make a trade. So in Dynasty, you do have the option of going and just getting a player, getting multiple stud players, or getting multiple draft picks. It's all about trading left and right, up and down. But in redraft, you can't. It's impossible to do that. You can't have 4 top 5 running backs
Yeah,
or
no,
whatever.
impossible. Yeah. In
Yeah.
Dynasty, you can
So
because you can slowly build towards it, as you said.
yeah,
Right.
in redraft, it's like give me 1 running back, 1 wide receiver, 1 quarterback, 1 tight end, and that's all I ask for. I'll make it out alive after that.
Exactly. And I try to avoid that by tanking a little bit, waiting, accumulating the picks, then trying to buy cheap, sell high type of stuff. Okay, this number 6 is the one that a lot of people struggle with because, man, and we've all been guilty of this, Couch. We draft the team and we take one look at the team. It's like, oh my god, this team is so good. Oh, dude, my quarterbacks are amazing, bro. As you see my RBs and receivers, oh, dude, I got my tight ends too. Oh my god, this team. There's no way this team is gonna lose. Everyone says that week 1 until they lose the first 3 games. And it's like, yeah, my team sucks, right? So if you're going to go, even if it's rebuild,
Remember that team we drafted last year?
Yeah.
Something happened to where the site wouldn't give us the team back because we didn't pay. It was a miscommunication, and we're like, well, thank God.
And we had a lot of picks.
We said we drafted like the best dynasty team ever, and it was Trey Lance,
Zach Wilson,
Kyle Pitts in Superflex tight end premium.
Oh my god, kill me.
I mean, just doesn't. Rashad Bateman, who got
bad.
drafted really close to DK Metcalf, and we're like, that's fine.
God,
like Bateman's almost like he's just as good, dang near. I mean, it was just misses across. We traded for Malik Willis, I think, even though we didn't like him. It was like an extra piece because we had Tannehill.
I think we had the Tennessee exactly.
Oh, we had the 2 worst.
So bad, dude.
Dang, man. Yeah,
it's so bad.
But we really thought we did something. We're like, oh man, we ran a clinic. We're like, this is how you do it. Like, they need to put this in an encyclopedia or something. They need to put this in an almanac, what we just did. And we drafted like the absolute worst team. Oh, it was horrible. Oh my god. Yeah. We only had like 1 good guy. I think Amari Cooper, something like, who's old and then
he was the guy we were trying to get rid of, right?
Yeah, one guy we were rebuilding, or tanking, we were building for the future. And
yeah.
No, that was the one example. That's the only time where like I really thought we did something and we actually drafted the absolute worst
bunch
team.
Of nothing. Yeah.
What's funny, the story, what do you call that? The prologue is prologue's in the beginning. What's this? There's like a little
prologue.
Preamble, whatever. There's like an after. It's kind of like almost a sequel. So I don't know if
epilogue.
You know
the epilogue.
Epilogue. Yes, epilogue.
Yeah,
thank you. I haven't read a book in my life, by the way.
It's been a hot minute for me, man. Don't worry.
Epilogue. Yeah, there you go. I would have never like that. That was slipping out of my memory. So epilogue to that league. The orphan team got sold instantly. Because of the rebuild opportunity. Still, Kyle Pitts during that time when it got sold was still a sexy name for tight end premium dynasty.
Yep.
And Trey Lance wasn't. People thought Trey Lance could start for the Niners still during that time. Because people just didn't know about Brock Purdy, and there was just a question mark. I always was telling like people, I was like, Brock Purdy's gonna probably start. Like, I'm pretty confident.
Yeah, you were one of the first ones on that one for sure.
Yeah, and just I'm a Niner fan. I'm a little closer to it, so it is what it is. But that team just seems so attractive, and getting that first overall pick and all. Like, we had a ton of first round picks, and whoever bought that team, good luck, because you're going to have to hit on the draft because none of those players work.
I hope he picked CJ Stroud. That's all I can say. If he did not, he's got a
There's
huge
no
problem.
way. I don't think. Yeah, I guess he could have. Yeah, I guess he could have. But
Yeah.
oh boy, that was
Now,
tough.
the whole point of bringing all this up, right, is
Yeah,
because
what were we talking about?
yeah,
Why do we
you
talk
have
about?
to
I
be
don't know.
a little bit objective when you are assessing your roster. Now, look, I understand. Hey, week 1, everyone's 0-0. You feel how you feel about the team you drafted. Okay, fine. But like at some point, like 4 or 5 weeks in, if you're 1 win, 4 losses, right? Like that should tell you something. Okay. So when you are either rebuilding or going for the win and trying to get that final piece, a lot of people what they will do, couch for when they ask me questions is they'll send me their team and they'll say, hey man, you think this team can win it all? Like what else does this team need right now for me to take down this league? And I look at the team and it's like, all right, I mean, it's a good team. The running backs look good, receivers, you got plenty, tight ends look decent, quarterbacks are strong. But it's not about what your team looks like just as is. It's about the competition. Because remember, this is not a redraft league. In a redraft league, everyone, all 12 of you guys, are going hard to win that season. And if a guy gets injured for the entire season, he's just off the team. He gets dropped, right? In Dynasty, 2 or 3 of your league managers any given year are just playing to lose, which means that the other 9 teams are going to be stronger. So now it's like, okay, your team could look good on paper, but like, how good does it look compared to the other competitive teams? Like, if you're telling me I've got, Rashad White and then a bunch of BS as my RB2, and I'm going up against like an Eckler JT team, I mean, I've got a severe disadvantage here, like, sure, maybe on paper, it seems like I can figure it out. Like, oh, I got, I don't know, like Royce Freeman or something who's going to be, getting points this week. And maybe next week I get like, I don't know, hypothetically, let's say Javonte Williams gets hurt and Jaleel McLaughlin is startable, just hypothetically, right? It's like I can play it that way too, fine, but you should probably get a running back. You know what I mean? Because you need to size up the other competition, and then you got to make that move to surpass them. That's what you do. You got to size it up and then surpass them. Couch, the Empire League that we're in?
Yeah.
I basically converted a bunch of rookie picks into a full roster. And basically, I think it was week 3 or week 4, my team was just not doing it. I had good players. I have Eckler. I had
Did any
Aaron
injuries
Rodgers was
happen?
not good.
No injuries happened to your team?
Yeah, I had 3 huge quarterback injuries. Aside from that, it's a good team. But what I realized was like, look, man, I can't just sit idly by and just let this entire roster slip away for 1 year. I gotta restructure this. I gotta resize it up and surpass it. So what I did was I made a couple trades. I stripped it down for picks, instantly flipped the picks back for players to kind of size up the best teams at the time. And I have not lost a single game since. I have not.
Oh, nice.
I have not
Wow.
lost a single game since.
That's
Right?
not easy
So,
to do, by the way.
right.
Like what he's saying, he actually did it in a league, we got money in the league, it's a buy-in and you know,
Now,
doing
I'm
what you
not saying I'm
preach.
going to go and take down the league. There's still plenty of ball to be played. We're only in week 10, week 11 of the NFL season. There's
But
still
you're one of the
plenty of
top teams and you got a good chance.
exactly. And I've completely turned it around. I went from 1-3 or 1-4, 11th place to, okay, let me resize the roster,
You're there with
surpass it,
me.
and there
You're
you
in the
go.
slums with me. I'm tanking.
Yeah.
I don't know how
and
that.
you're tanking,
Me and
right?
you are right there on the leaderboards. I don't know what. I
Yeah.
don't know what's on the rank. I don't know how that. I'm like, dude, I'm trying to lose. What are you ruining my shine for? You're doing worse than me over here. I didn't understand that. I'm in like
Yeah.
10th or 11th place. You're right behind me. Okay, I didn't. I don't even look at it. So apparently you've
I've turned it
got your
around,
way
man.
out of
I've
the
turned it around.
gutters. You're out of the gutters. You're out of the sewers. Okay,
And I'm
you're
telling you
on
right
sea
now, the
level.
strategy that I used was I looked at the top 2 teams because, in my opinion, I felt at the time it was 2 teams and then the rest. And I said, okay, how far away am I? The guy who's in last place, he's got Travis Kelce. Let me try to get him because as soon as I get Travis Kelce, I've beaten the other 2 guys at tight end. I got that. So I kept on, sizing it up and surpassing, right? Next tip.
Let's keep it moving. This one's easy.
This
Yeah,
one's easy. This one's easy, but it is there's a little bit of a caveat here to it as well, right? So be active when your league is active, right? So obviously, in the middle of February after the Super Bowl, everyone's kind of chilling, they're doing their own thing. Football season's basically dead. Yeah, you're not going to get much action. So I wouldn't even bother sending trade offers at that point, because like more often than not, it's probably just going to be sitting in their inbox. And then if you're not careful, 3 months later, maybe the guy that you wanted to trade for gets hurt or something, and the guy clicks
I
accept.
just want to tell you guys, if you guys are sending out trades, I'd recommend using the trade deadline or trade expiration setting. So set it to expire in 2 weeks or something, just in case. Because we had that happen in our league, and someone was crying about it, and I was just like, whatever. I was like, do you know that you can use that setting? He was like, yeah, but I was like, all right, well,
can't do much about that then.
Yeah, I'll be like, dude, I would have done the same thing. So I can't, as the commish, like I would have hit accept. I mean, don't leave a trade sitting out there.
For sure. But also, this extends into a little bit of an intermediate thing, right? Where it's not just, okay, trade or make moves when everyone's trading and making moves. Think about the moves that your league mates are making, right? Usually around March, 1 month before the rookie draft, most guys are trying to buy picks. So what if you tried to buy players?
Yeah, that's going to go into the FOMO. I got another. We're talking about the peak value of those picks.
Yeah.
And being 1 month before the draft, 2.5 weeks before like around there, 2 weeks before the draft. That's because of FOMO. I think you get the FOMO. You're like, oh man, I might miss out on this super hyped player. Like, oh man, I don't want to miss out on that guy. So the FOMO starts kicking in for the picks and the NFL draft and all that.
But if you can get a good deal, then it might be worth it. And from my experience playing Dynasty, it's easier to get good deals when more people are on the train, more people are willing to deal and everything. If you're at a point in the season where no one's interested and you just have to move a guy, you might not get the best deal. That is how it is. That one's kind of obvious, but little wrinkle there. Let's move on to number 8. Keep chugging along here. So this one should be easy, but for some reason people struggle with this one. It's leveraging trade calculators. Yeah, to me, this one's kind of obvious. It's basically the principle is, okay, use your trade calculator of choice, whether it's Dynasty League Football, DLF, or whether it's Key Trade Cut, KTC, whatever you want to use. There's hundreds out there. Some are paid, some are free. However you want to play it, fine. Basically, what the whole idea of this is that, okay, you basically plug in assets to make an even trade that is even. And then what you do is, obviously, you don't just trade to trade. You'll have an objective, okay? But you'll send an even value trade, and then you'll just throw on like some junk picks that are like not totally useless, but maybe like a guy like Justice Hill, for example, right? Like he's not a total zero, but he doesn't have a ton of value either.
Well, now
he's trade guys. Maybe he's like
he just turned into a zero though.
He just turned into okay. Well,
yeah. So, but
maybe I was 2 weeks early then. Got lucky there.
3-4 weeks ago, Justice Hill was a thing for sure. But now with Keaton Mitchell's just a far superior Justice Hill, so he's been phased out.
For sure. Well, to my point, but maybe like
Sky Moore.
Sky Moore. Perfect name. Let's use Sky Moore, right?
Nobody or Rondell Moore. One of the Moores.
Sky Moore, Rondell Moore, all those.
I have both on the
Put them both in. Put them both in.
Yeah. Put more Moores in there. Yeah.
What's going to happen is the guy on the other end is going to look at the trade calculator and going to be like, huh, it's actually pretty decent value. I'll click accept. And that happens more often than not. If you send a guy like an even value trade.
So this is assuming that they're probably going to go to a trade calculator, right? I just want to.
Everyone does. Okay. I would say only like 0.001% of dynasty managers are not looking at calculators. and those are probably the ones who make the most
It's
mistakes.
that's not real. There's a lot of news. There's a lot of people we talk to. It's like their first year playing Dynasty, and so you're just not in any leagues with them. Trust me. There's a lot
The
of
experienced ones,
different,
the
but I get
experienced
what you're
leagues, all right?
saying
Yeah.
in a real so you say in a real Dynasty league,
Right.
all of them do. That's what you're saying. They at least go just to get an idea of the trade.
Even if they
Okay,
have an
that's
idea
good to
of whether
know.
they want to accept or decline, they'll still check the trade calculator
It's what
just to
I
double check.
do. I mean,
Exactly.
well,
Yeah.
I'm not the best trader, so like for me, I'm like 100% of the time I'm going to the calculator.
Sure.
And with all the experience we have in our Discord, I mean, we went to the calculator. I think every single time, right? But when
Yeah.
we're in the $500 league, I mean, that's freaking serious league, man. So we got to go to the and we know the guys in there who are world class dynasty players. We know they're hitting the calculator, and even
Oh,
they
for sure.
posted a message board, hey, on the calculator, blah blah blah. So we knew one guy was using, and then we entered it in. I remember that we're doing a lot of detective work in that league. We entered in whatever he said, and we figured out which calculator he was using, which was keep trade cut.
Yep.
So you're saying, okay, so again, he was saying every real dynasty league, every serious dynasty, virtually everybody's using the trade calculator. Virtually every
Everyone's using some sort of. It doesn't have to be the same one KTC.
yeah,
They're all using something.
yeah.
And if you can find the ways to leverage that, by all means, go after it. That's how you
I
win.
guess
That's
if
how
you
you win
do
games.
know which one they use, that's another
That's a
tiny
plus.
advantage because you know
Sure.
which one for you to use to make this trick even more accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Move on.
okay. I'm learning. Hey, I'm learning too. It's just this is new stuff for me for sure.
I'm glad. I'm glad you got something new.
Yeah.
All
Yeah. See,
right, here we go.
I'm adding on to it, but I'm also learning a lot. That's
Yeah, and these
great.
are great add-ons too. I mean, all the points you're making are very valid.
Cause
Definitely
hey,
good points.
dude, we just got through $500 startup league. That
Yeah,
is
you're a seasoned dynasty
online.
player now.
That's not with my doctor and lawyer buddies. That's online. Like that's with world class players. These are
Yeah.
serious players. One of the guys was on a reality show.
Oh, yeah. I forgot
Yeah,
about that. That's
he
crazy.
had
That's
to
right.
lose all the way. Oh, dude, I just joked about it today because he sent us a trade offer. It was on a reality show where you had to lose a bunch of weight. We're
Yeah,
not going to reveal the show, but I mean, yeah, you
kind of
guys can know.
obvious.
There's knockoffs, there's different ones, but I don't dox people anyway. It's one where we had to lose a ton of. I was like, he offered us a trade, and then like before we got a chance to look at it, he withdrew it. I was like, dang, this guy cooked us a meal, served it to us, and then he took away the plate before he even got to smell it, dude. He just
Oh man,
you don't deserve
you
it.
can't have it. Sorry.
I
Looked
was
good,
like,
didn't it? Not for you.
bro.
Wrong table.
We have to beat that.
Mm.
Oh man, he's such our arch nemesis. He talked to us like a jerk. He drafted our stacks. He held players hostage. I mean, he was and I mean, I like it because it's like top notch competition. I mean, it's
Yeah, for sure.
serious. Like, I feel like this is like Michael Jordan, trash talking. Like this is the big leagues, dude. World
Oh
class
yeah.
players. It doesn't get any tougher than this when it comes to dynasty.
Hey, that's what makes it fun, though. That's what makes it fun because it really
Yeah.
gets you to use your brain, use your mind, try to think of some different strategies as well, right? Not just the kosher, run of the mill stuff. Let's move on, though. We're almost done here.
Number 9.
Now, this one, I understand that my
Wait,
username.
have you been saying these? We got an audio podcast, bro. Have you been saying these out
Yeah, I
loud?
have. I have.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Leverage calculators. Yeah, I've been saying them.
Okay. I'm just making sure.
So, ninth thing here on the list. I understand that my username is Dynasty Day Trader. So I like to trade. Yes, I get it. Trade a lot. Yes, that's the thing. However, it's not just to make trades. It's not, again, like I'm not trading because, oh, you gave me this nickname. Now I gotta, live up to the nickname. No, you gave me this nickname because of how I behave. All right. I'm
Okay, it's
just being straight up
good
with
to know because some people do what you said. Some people do it just to do it. It's good to know.
you. I don't do trades just to do trades, but what I do is when I want to make a move, I always send the first offer. Now, here's the thing. You're going to hear advice going both ways. You can hear some people say you should send the first offer. You're going to hear some people say, never send the first offer. I always believe in being the guy to send that first offer for one reason and one reason only, Couch. I dictate the structure of the deal, period. Let's say you have Austin Eckler, you're rebuilding. I'm trying to win now. There's so many different combinations that I could give you for Austin Eckler. I could give you just picks. I could give you just players. I could give you players and picks. Maybe I could give you a 1-for-1 player, 2-for-1, 3-for-1, 3-for-2. There's so many different combinations that I could acquire Austin Eckler, for example, from you. If I'm the one who sends the first offer out, all of a sudden I'm kind of dictating, the tide a little bit, right? If I send you an offer with a player and a pick, more than likely, if either you're going to accept or decline, or if you counter, it's probably going to be with a player and a pick, which is exactly the structure that I was seeking. And it became that because I sent you the first offer. Now, let's move on to tip number 10 here. And this kind of goes along with number 9. Sometimes, Couch, in your leagues, you'll have a guy just put really good players on the block. Hey, guys, my season's not working. George Kittle is on the block. Keenan Allen is available to trade.
CJ Stroud's on the block. CJ Stroud just got traded in my Dynasty league.
That's crazy. What? Are you for real?
Yeah.
What?
Smose is pissed.
That's for another day. I'm sorry.
It's a one crazy. QB league. He traded Stroud and Gibson for Rachaad White. It's crazy. It's a 1 QB
not a
league.
Fan of that one. Still, but nah, not a fan. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I was surprised. Yeah.
Right. So the guy puts Stroud on the block, and a lot of people are interested. So now, you know what I just told you, send the first offer.
You know what Smose didn't do? He didn't send the first offer. He's pissed. He's like, dang, if I knew. And he's like, well, no one was sending me offers. So he probably just accepted the first offer he got. Boom.
There you go. Tough, right? So here's the thing, right? Let's say the guy puts CJ Stroud on the block, and I told you to send the first offer, but what if you're too late? And not to the point like the guy already accepted an offer, but what if like the guy has already fielded offers, and it's like, man, I've taken 3 offers, I'm considering 2 of them, I've already eliminated 1. You're kind of late to the party a little bit, right? Like you can no longer send an offer that I guess is ideal for what you want to do, because there's a chance that someone else could just outbid you. If I give you this player and a second for Eckler, another guy might say, hey man, if that's the deal, I'll give you a slightly better player and a second for Austin Eckler, and just do the deal with me. And of course, you lost your deal just like that. However, there is a very, very easy way to get out of a bid war that I hope more people use this strategy.
I'm dying to hear.
Instead of slightly going higher, right? Instead of saying, oh, okay, he's offering you this in a second, I'll give you this second and a third. Forget that. Completely alter the trade structure and give him a haymaker that he cannot even compare to the other trades. Guy wants to give X in a second for Eckler, fine. I'm going to say, I'll give you these 2 players in a first. I want Eckler and Kelsey. How are you going to compare those 2 trades to one another? You can't. That's how you diffuse a bid war, and that's how you make your offer competitive while not getting caught up in the fray of, second round pick.
Did I do that with Bijan to Drew, who's our producer, who's on still?
I can't remember. I can go back.
I mean, technically, I did it. I just want to know if this fits the mold. I know I did it, but I want to know how much, to what extent I did it to, because everyone is giving him offers. Of course, if you can imagine, our players weren't important. Our players were just finishing touches, so you can just keep kind of like get that, like Justin Tucker and stuff. Like that didn't
Yeah,
really
right, right,
matter
right.
to us. I gave him a ton of firsts and a
Okay.
ton of
Three
picks.
firsts. Yeah.
Nobody was doing that. Somebody gave him like one first and a bunch of players. This other guy's giving him a bunch of
Yeah.
seconds and a ton of good players. And I mean, I just put myself in his shoes. And if I was him, it's a team. It's like one of the worst dynasty teams we've ever seen. I think even
Yeah, it
you,
was really
right?
rough
It
shape. I
was
remember that.
really bad. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like almost, I mean, he still won. Like, he's like, how am I going to turn this around? It's so bad that if I was in his shoes, there's literally only one thing I would want because I mean, it's still fantasy's about having fun too. Like, if
Of
I'm gonna
course.
have fun, no matter what, like even if I'm not able to turn this around, there's one thing I want strategically and for fun. It's picks and it's first rounders, and that's period.
Yeah.
And I think I gave him that. No matter what the other guys offered, like, okay, here's a tier 2 player. What the hell is that guy gonna do with the tier 2 player? And if it doesn't work, now he's stuck with the player too, and he's gonna have to make a trade in a league that doesn't trade often. And so I was like, but what's fun and good strategy wise, and what does he want? I mean, I picks, and
Yeah.
I think that's what got the trade. I mean, I think I offered the best deal, and I think it was, not the peanuts to oranges or whatever, apples to oranges, whatever the saying is.
Mhm.
It was totally different. But does that fit though?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely it does. That's the whole idea. When you especially because here's another thing, right? When
By the way,
people are
hold on.
building
I
go
gotta
ahead.
just say that was so people know what I'm talking about. That was for the first overall pick, aka Bijan. The pick was for sale from Drew, who bought the team. It was an orphan team. He was tanking, so that's what it was for. And there was a bid war going on between three, kind of like your example, actually, like between
Mhm.
three competing teams: me, Scout, and Jordan.
Yeah. No, that's good. And what I was going to say is that, oh man, what was I gonna say? So yeah, so when you have the bid war, right? A lot of times, and here's the cool thing, and I'm telling you this, it's not going to be all the time because there are some smarter, very savvy, experienced managers out there. So maybe in these super high stake leagues, it's probably not going to happen. But a lot of times, especially in the sleeper leagues where you kind of know, who you're playing with and whatever, and you guys
That's
have a
most
good
leagues.
relationship,
That's almost everybody. Yeah,
almost
that's
everyone's league,
listening.
right?
Yeah.
You know, Guys will just openly tell you, "Hey, man, I have this offer for Devon A. Chain. If you beat the offer, he's all yours." So you actually know what you're dealing with, like what offer you have to quote unquote beat. And again, if you don't want to go into the bid war, you can diffuse it, send a different trade structure. So I wonder, Couch, I'm gonna ask you this question. Did Drew ever tell you any of the trades that were on the table, or do you just simply say, "Hey, I got two
He
offers I'm really
told
considering"?
me because we're good friends, and he was trying to use that as a strategy to get more out of me as well.
Okay.
But the only reason that it was hard for him not to tell me was because it usually deals aren't this big. This was, as you admitted it, the biggest trade ever
Huge,
for
huge,
Bijan
massive,
Robinson.
massive.
Yeah. So most people trading won't be at this blockbuster level. So if it was smaller, he would have told me like right away. Like it would
For
have
sure.
been easy. He would have
Yeah.
said, but even with this, he gave me a really good idea of what Jordan was offering and what Scott was offering. And he was like, look, you have like, I'm considering these, even though I assume he was lying. Uh,
Sure.
but
Yeah. No. Sure. I
it's
mean,
part of the
sometimes you
game.
gotta
Like,
say
what do you,
that. It's part of the game.
but
Exactly.
I also have to respect it because he also could be telling the half truth or the truth. Like,
Right.
so, I know why he's telling me that, he's trying to get more out of me and this and that. And, it's fine. But, yeah, no, if he told me, I feel like, as long as you're cool with the person for a lesser trade, a more lackluster trade, less of a blockbuster trade, the person should just tell you because it makes sense. Like you guys have
Yeah.
open communication and they want to get more out of you. I mean, so
Mhm.
it's like, and if you're really considering a trade, yeah, it's cool. Now you just got a bonus. So you got like you tell the guy, hey, this is my offer. Can you beat it? And now you get a similar trade offer to that, but even better. So it's a good idea, I think, to tell the people. It makes the league more
Yeah.
fun and everyone's
Yeah.
more friendly and just open communication and deals are getting done left and right. Like
Hmm.
that's how a dynasty league should be.
Yep. So point of this tip was, when you run into that guy who tells you, "Oh man, this is my offer, beat the offer, and it's all yours," and you don't want to beat that offer, and you're just like, that's a little bit too much. I don't want to get into a bid war with this guy. That's when you hit him up with that 3 firsts instead of the player and whatever. This kind of goes into the next one, Couch. Man, this is hilarious to me. And again, this is really about team construction and not looking at the one trade that was accepted on Sleeper. People are so obsessed with winning every trade. Well, tip 11 here is you can lose trades. You can lose trades, bro. It's okay to lose a trade in value because, man, the value changes all the time. If you are convicted, if you have a vision with your team, for example, Couch Empire League, I traded a 2025 first-round pick for Matt Stafford. I would get absolutely crapped on until you look at my roster and you realize, oh, all I'm missing is a decent level quarterback.
QB2.
All of a sudden, that's worth it to me because the roster construction, like, yes, I'm losing that trade in the vacuum, but
that's
my
your
team
QB2?
becomes way better. QB2, yeah.
Okay, just to
That's what I'm saying. That's like
just
way.
to be clear, because if it was your QB1, I think we'd still laugh at you.
Oh yeah, that'd be a
QB2 makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah, it was like, yes, did I lose that trade? Absolutely. I'm not advising anyone to go out and make these moves. But again, if you make like 8 moves like that and the whole team becomes better, then all of a sudden it becomes worth it. So you can lose trades as long as your entire team is winning. You get that? Does that make sense? It's kind of a catch-22 or kind of hard to fathom here. But, people are so hung up on just winning the trade, winning the trade, winning the trade. It's like, okay, well, what about your whole roster? Like, yes, I traded Eckler for this in a second, and I traded that for this guy and whatever. Okay, but now you're left with like some really crappy player and a bunch of crap picks. Now what? The value
By the way,
every trade.
That league is super flex. Just also
it is
clear.
Yeah.
Can we change? Is this okay? You have to. Oops. I pushed a bunch of buttons. Oh crap.
Nope, all good.
We are back. Okay. Is it okay to change number 11 to this, or just it's not really it's more of an edit? How about you tell me though? You can say no.
Sure.
It's totally fine, or it's okay to lose trades sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay. Which is this is just a
you don't
shorter
wanna lose
version of
every
that.
single one.
You
This
don't
is
want to
the
lose
first
all
gen
your
version.
trades. Value still matters, but if you have that plan, you have a vision, and you need to take a small L on the value on the calculator for this one trade, then it's
That's
okay
what
to
I'm
do
talking
it
about.
from time to time.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't want to fleece yourself every day, every trade you make. Obviously, that's just bad business. But
I think this applies to redraft as well then, because I'm a value guy for sure, but on occasion I tell people I'm like, what are you gonna do with two? I think I just told somebody to trade Lamar Jackson because he has two. I'm like, what are you gonna do with 2 quarterbacks, bro? Like,
try to get
go
something.
go
Right?
get the guy. Yeah, go get the guy you need. Like, just make it happen. Like, even if you lose the trade, like, if it helps you win, it helps you win.
Last tip here, and we'll get into our bonus ones, and we'll wrap this one up. Okay, this one's one that a lot of people have heard. Zig when they zag, which basically means when your whole league is doing one thing, you go against the grain and do the other thing. But there are a lot of tactics that this topic alone honestly might be a different whole podcast on its own because there's so many ways you can exploit the zig versus zag. And I'll tell you the 2 most recent ones that I did, and they're both paying off dividends. One I mentioned earlier, the Couch Empire League. I was in Peru layover. I had some extra days at the airport. This was around February. Super Bowl was either it had just ended or it was like around the corner or something. Basically, no one's playing fantasy football. Everyone's the super degenerates who are still in checking their dynasty leagues. They're all about the rookie picks and trying to formulate offers to angle for the 2023 at the time. That would be the draft class. Hoard those picks. And I see that. And I see that everyone wants picks. And, knowing me, knowing my style, I have picks. I have picks to give and people are willing to pay me for picks, perfect. While you guys all zig for the 2023 picks, I will zag. And I got insane deals. Insane deals. What would you rather have? Would you rather have Quentin Johnson or Chris Godwin this year? Much rather Chris Godwin. I got that basically for a 1-for-1. And I did a lot of moves like that, and I basically built an entire roster just from zigging. When everyone wanted picks, I would be buying the players. Second example that I did, this is going to be a little bit couple years prior. It was in my startup. No one was tanking. No one was giving up their picks. Everyone was trying to compete. So I'm like, all right, I'll build a roster, fine, whatever. I'll get some cornerstones. And as soon as the startup ended, I said, screw it. If no one's tanking, I know I built a team. I like the team that I built. Forget it. I'm just going to tear this down. Give me all the picks. Zigging when they zagged. It works. It works in both directions. It works either way. It is a legitimate strategy that if you can fine tune and master, you can really abuse a lot of your teammates of your league mates who are smart. I've done that too. The smart guys. So that zig when they zag, very important. Honestly, maybe during the off season we can have a separate podcast on that. We'll see.
I had a funny story. I made a TikTok with your draft class cornerstone strengths, as in 2024 is very strong, 2025 is very weak, 2026 is very strong.
Yeah.
And got kind of a noob comment. I like it. I explained to him. Well, he was like, man, nobody knows these draft classes looking that far out. And then I just explained to him your points and this and that. And I'm like, man, that's why you got guys like us. Like, it's important to have an idea and take a stab. But we're not just purely guessing. Like I explained to him the points you make when there's 5 really good running backs. It will actually change. Like some guy will get hurt, some guy will be a bust. Like you can all, it's almost guaranteed. It's actually so scarily guaranteed.
Yeah.
And then 2 new guys will come out, and it'll still be 5 guys, and that's actually pretty much guaranteed too. And that happens every year. So it's like, no, we actually have a good idea. I mean, and if you do pay attention, like Dynasty Day Trader does, you got a really good idea of these guys. I mean, this is what college scouts do. Like it's their job, and they get paid real money to do this because it's real. Like you don't just pay a scout and all they do is just sit on a computer and email people. Like no, it's an actual skill. Like they know these things, and as NFL scouts as well. And yeah, so it was good. I mean, that kind of goes with zigging and zagging in a way. It's once you gotta, at least if you know the strength of the draft class, you can use that. I mean, there's some people that don't. I mean, that's the thing. In all the leagues we're in, everybody knows that chart. I guess apparently, people are screenshotting it. People are. I mean, it was a big deal. Like
it's dope.
I mean,
it's dope.
and that comment, I just got that comment too. By the way, like that the video is still. Like, people are still watching the video. Yeah, I got that comment this week, and so I explained to him.
Good to know.
I don't know what he said after that, but
let's keep it right here, Couch, because you did kind of just segue into the bonus tip that I have for rebuilders, which goes perfectly with what you're saying. Use the strength of the classes to build your team. If you're rebuilding and you got all these picks, why would I trade away a first-round pick to get a proven receiver if next year's class is good at receiver? I should be going and trying to get a running back or a tight end because, look, if I know next year's class is good at wide receiver and I have picks for next year, I'll be able to get receivers. I won't be able to get quarterbacks, for example, or running backs or tight ends. So I want to use the picks that, I had maybe this year, for example, which can't do that and buy those things. Or maybe vice versa. This is a strong RB.
Quarterback's always a terrible example. You can, because they're so hard to get. When they're
Superflex really messes it all up.
They're really hard to get, and then when they're not there, there's nobody to get. There's Malik Willis and Kenny Pickett, and then when they are there, they're going first overall. So
yeah.
No, it still applies. I'm just saying it's such an but in Superflex, yeah, it's such an extreme. But RB versus wide receiver is just a better example. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. So I mean, basically, you want to use that to your advantage and prepare yourself you always want to, especially if you're rebuilding, you want to constantly prepare yourself for next season, right? I want to build a roster right now so that when I'm in my rookie draft next year, the players that I draft complement and add on to the roster that I've built. So then that the following year I can pick even more players that complement and add on to what I've already built. I don't want to keep on hammering down on wide receiver and then get wide receivers again and keep on going for wide receivers because that's where the value is in dynasty football nowadays. Well, guess what? You need running backs to win your league. Sorry, that's how fantasy works at the end of the day. You need 2 of them. Most leagues start 2 running backs. You will need 2. So have fun with that. The way to do that, use the draft strength class. Let's flip to the other side. Win now. And again, this is specific to those players who, to use your phrase, move the needle. If you are a win now team, it is 100 out of 100 times worth it to overpay for a star player like a McCaffrey, like a Diggs, like a Devontae, whoever it is, if it means you can actually go win that ring. Just go do it, man. You're so close. Don't hold on to future value that's going to be a late first-round pick anyway and be a mediocre at best player when you can just go win the league right now. It's so hard to win in fantasy football in a redraft league. Forget about a dynasty. It's harder to win in a dynasty too. Maybe harder, equally hard, whatever it is. It's difficult. It's difficult to win in any fantasy football format. So if you have the opportunity to do it, go do it, man. And that's where this is going to be. This segment's going to end here. Again, intermediate. We're past the basic level tips here. Hopefully you can use some of these 12 tips that we've given you and the 2 bonus ones, depending on where you're at in your stage, to kind of help you out and improve your dynasty rosters. Hope you guys enjoyed that one.
Let me tweet this out right now. What should you write the tweet for me? What should I say? Let me tweet this graphic you made. I should have been tweeting a lot of these graphics and
I still have them all, so I can send them to you. We can.
Yeah, I might as well start. I'm gonna tweet this one out right now, though, guys. So you guys don't even need to screenshot it. You could, but what do I call this tweet? What do I say? 12. What do I? You write.
Probably like 12 intermediate tips or advanced tips.
Advanced sounds way better. It's way better for clicking. 12 advanced tactics. Advanced tactics for your dynasty team. There you go. For your dynasty team? Okay.
For your dynasty team, yeah.
Okay.
I like it. I think it's good advice. I think it's not conventional advice that you're going to hear from most people. I think most of the time you're going to hear the stuff like, oh, receivers, they last so long, running backs, low shelf life, QB, super flex, insulated value. You're going to hear stuff like that, which everyone hears all the time. I mean, I understand some of the things that I said today, like zig when they zag. Like, yeah, you've heard that one before, but there's a lot of new stuff. I would hope that was my goal, at least today, to give you other ways of thinking about the game that is dynasty football. And there's a lot of ways to win, man.
At least 2 of these were new to me.
That's good. I'm glad.
That's good. Yeah, I totally learned different things. All right, guys, if you have any questions, I just tweeted that out, by the way, posted it on Facebook as well. So if you guys want to get that graphic, and maybe if we go back, I don't know if I think most of these are still very relevant, so I'm just gonna start tweeting these graphics out so everybody has a clean copy of it. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, go ahead and ask it. I'm gonna start answering some. Sorry, some people had some very relevant questions and we skipped them while we're doing the buy low, sell high. If you're still here, ask it again. But it's hard to look at the chat sometimes while you're doing the show and you're going through the graphics, and I can't read. We just we went over the fact that I haven't read a book in my life.
Prologue, epilogue, whatever it is, man.
It is what. Hey, I'm more of a video guy, right? It's just I went to film school. I'm a YouTuber, like I'm not an
expert, baby.
Not an author. Yeah, I'm a video guy. Like, it is what it is. I do graphics, I make memes, and do videos. Jonathan says, should I look into trading away Josh Allen with all the INTs and fumbles? No, matter of fact, I even thought about having Josh Allen as a buy low because for some reason people are scared and people are scared of his OC getting fired. You were on my live streams
Terrified.
to Shane expressing
Terrified.
expressing how scared you were. And I was like, no,
Yeah.
I mean, it's still like it's still the same team. They just like the dude was screwing up a bit, and it's like this is one thing I wanted to add. It just came to me like it's not that the OC was like an evil person, a horrible coach, and just the absolute zero, and he needs to be taken to the back of the barn and shot and ended, you know, and
Yeah,
just
I
put
get
him in a shallow. No, Greg Roman, even who is kind of maybe needs to be taken to the barn.
Oh,
But
man, he's dangerously close.
even Greg Roman's not a zero. I'm telling you right here.
Facts.
He's a human being, damn it. This guy, Greg Roman, he made Kaepernick. He made Tyrod Taylor. He was really good to Lamar in the beginning. And maybe Lamar wouldn't have developed into a real quarterback without Greg Roman. Like this guy did something.
Real thing.
But
Real
after a point, just like you buy a pumpkin for Halloween, to the point that pumpkin turns green and starts to smell like really bad. And that was Greg Roman. And you know what? Dorsey, he was starting to sour a little bit, trust me. And so they needed, like, it was an obvious change. Like, to me, this is still Josh Allen. Like, it's not like, all right, guys, break. We're gonna just run the ball now and like not use the quarterback. We're gonna play like the Buccaneers or like the Titans or something. No. Like
it's still Josh Allen's team.
It's still Josh Allen. We just want to actually win games now. That's all. This is the real football move. It's still gonna be Josh Allen. Like he's still the man. Like don't worry about that. Just like if you guys remember Cam Newton, you know, he made this cringy statement. He's like, you got to let a lion be a lion, or you get the lion roar. Or something. I mean, at the end of the day, though, what he said, I got what he meant, and he was right. At the end of the day, he's Cam. It's not like he's gonna be a pocket passer and never run. Like that's not Cam, and he kept running. Like that was him. Like it's gonna happen. Like, and so Josh Allen's still gonna be Josh Allen. What the reason they made the change is, you know, ultimately, they want to get rid of the turnovers, they want to get rid of the dumb mistakes, and they want to run the ball more efficiently and use the RB position more efficiently. They're not gonna from night and day go to being this running team like, you know, like the Titans with Derrick Henry, back in the day. You know, still today, but like, you know, back in the day, it was like every play it was handed off to Derrick Henry, get 29 carries. Like, that's not the Bills. Don't worry about it. But this close, I was this close to making Josh Allen, to put him on the buy low list. I just didn't think it would make sense, but maybe I should have, because
I think
I'm seeing a lot of stuff. Like, my God, I mean, he's literally the best quarterback in fantasy. Literally, like. QB1. I mean, how bad is that? That's not that bad. That's not that bad.
That's great.
That's not bad. Like, it's literally the best.
The best. The number one asset.
Man, this is some amazing info. Dynasty Day Trader spitting. I need my rain jacket.
Appreciate it, my man. Appreciate it.
Picture this guy's raincoat being blue because he's a Cowboys fan. That's just my visual. All in one show. Traded A-Chain and T. Higgins for CMC. I approve.
Go win it, baby.
I approve that. Yeah.
Go win it.
We'll have
go win it.
CMCs,
yes,
man.
That's the type of move we're talking about, man.
I just want to make sure you know.
CMC. Yeah.
A lot of these are redraft. Don't get too. I don't know if that's going to ruin your excitement. I don't know. You're not as excited for a redraft championship.
Actually, yeah.
All right, I have to remind you every show.
Shoot.
I traded A-Chain for Mike Evans in redraft. I probably would have kept Mike A-Chain. I probably would have kept A-Chain, but I think this is an even trade. I would have kept A-Chain. I'm a big A-Chain fan.
Same.
The Freak 12-team PPR Superflex start 9. Trade. Okay. What? Oh, okay. He's just giving us background. Trade away Will Levis and Drake. Who's Drake?
Kenyon Drake?
I feel stupid. Whatever. I'm
Is
done.
there any other Drake?
I
Drake
don't
May?
know.
Mm,
There's got to be a Drake.
yeah, I don't know. I don't
Did
know.
he just call you Sully? Yeah, I think he just called you
I guess he
Sully.
did. Oh
He
well.
just assumed by default you're Sully. Oh,
That's
Drake
good.
London. Oh my god.
Oh, dude, I'm
Oh my
sorry.
god. Dang, that's how irrelevant he's been.
I totally forgot he existed.
Oh,
Dang.
wow. Me too. Dang, thank God
Yikes.
he's not on a lot of our dynasty teams. He'd be
Hey, buy low,
killing
Drake
us
London.
right now. Dude, I was like, there's another Drake. Damn, we've been talking about so many Drakes. Oh my god.
Yikes.
Don't laugh at us. You just call this guy Solly. Yeah, don't laugh at us. You
Hey,
can't
joke's on you,
laugh.
man. Come on now.
Yeah, you getting us mixed up. We forget there's a lot of Drake. We just did the Drake May experience show.
Yep.
We yeah, that was silly
I
though.
can't believe I
Drake
thought of
London.
Kenny and Drake before Drake
No, I
London.
did
That's
too. And then
embarrassing.
the next
Crazy.
guy I saw was Drake May, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I give okay. Anyway,
Yeah.
trade away Will Levis and Drake London for Gibbs. Pretty soon we cannot call this guy Drake because Drake May is gonna be in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't do that. You gotta have to just stick with the London pretty soon here. Pretty soon. I'd say now, actually. Now we'll make that a rule. No more Drake.
No more Drake. He's
It has
London.
to be London, yeah. Levis and Drake London for Gibbs. Yeah, go get Gibbs, sure.
I was gonna say this seems like a smash to me because
Yeah,
Levis
guess
is
so.
not really that good.
Cadillac. I love when they say redraft. Like, that means they know they've been listening. They can't, it gets us confused because we go from redraft to dynasty and back to redraft. Like, it's hard.
They're doing this for me. I appreciate it, guys.
No, it's good. No, it's just a good thing for people to say. Redraft is Garrett Wilson to Cooper Cup an upgrade. I paired him with Schultz and got Cup. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, Cup is an upgrade to Garrett Wilson. Here's why: because Stafford gives him that upside, and in that relationship, Zach Wilson just can't provide the love his partner needs. Like, you can't get that. Garrett Wilson's not going to get enough out of that marriage. It's never going to happen. They have their bare necessities, but it's not going to happen. Stafford, I've seen Stafford do things, man. I've seen Stafford, 5,000 yards. His wide receiver, make a ton of fantasy wide receiver ones, break records, win a Super Bowl. Zach Wilson? Oh, buddy, that's the opposite. Yeah.
No.
So just off that, if it wasn't for the quarterbacks, bro, maybe these guys would be on the same level for sure. I mean, I'm a big Garrett Wilson believer. If it was Aaron Rodgers, maybe we'd say, oh, they're even, or Garrett Wilson's better because he's younger.
Yeah.
But now, come on, dude. I mean, we're literally talking right now, Zach Wilson versus Stafford. That's really the argument.
And it's not close.
I think it's not an argument. It's like, that's ridiculous.
Not,
yeah. I think that when I put it that way, it's like, okay, that makes sense. That's obvious. Twitch fam in the building. What's up Thursday? That's the person's name. Mike Evans and Drake London for Thielen and Judy. Nobody wants Judy. So any side with Judy loses. So no. That answers your question. Matt Felton. Huge question. Do I trade Tyreek for AJ Brown or Lamb? One guy in my league offered AJ Brown and Mike Evans for Tyreek. I think that's
easily,
a huge no. AJ Brown and Mike Evans for Tyreek? That's bad.
Well, are you getting AJ Brown?
No, he's at okay. That was he just said one guy. I'm just being that in that trade. I like the AJ Brown side way more.
Right.
So Tyreek for AJ Brown or Lamb. Okay, so Lamb to me is out of this. He's been on a hot streak, but I don't trust him to be top 3 like these guys quite yet. So Lamb is no, but Tyreek for AJ Brown. Now that's very close. I think AJ Brown's more consistent. I think Tyreek Hill is more upside, and I'm very torn. So maybe you make the tiebreaker.
I mean, I said the fact that you're getting Mike Evans.
No, that's not the trade. That's not it.
Oh, he's just saying
That's a
Tyreek for AJ
different
Brown.
story. Yeah, he's talking about a relevant story, something else.
All
Okay, so
right. Well,
this is the question: Tyreek Hill or AJ Brown? That's it. There's nothing else in this.
unfortunately, you're asking the absolute worst person. My favorite receiver in the entire NFL is AJ Brown.
That's
So
fine. I get it.
I'll
I
go
think
with that.
I'll
To
answer
me, it's close
Tyreek.
enough. So I'll go with
I'll
Daniel
answer
Jones.
Tyreek Hill. You'll answer AJ Brown. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say. Drew, chime in and vote. Chat, go ahead, chime in and vote. Who's better rest of the year, AJ Brown or Tyreek Hill? They both just had their bye weeks,
Yep.
so can't even do a tiebreaker with that. I feel like AJ Brown's going to be more consistent. Waddle hasn't really shown up a lot.
Man, I do think Tyreek Hill can get you more. This goes to your ceiling point. He
Best
can
ball or
get you
the
way
best
more
ball
points.
guy,
Yeah, best
yeah.
ball. Right. Right.
Because if the Dolphins are clicking, it's, watch
That's
out,
scary.
watch out.
Mm.
Like, watch out, 40 points, Tyreek Hill. I don't think AJ Brown puts up 40 ever, but 30 is very doable for AJ Brown.
Sure.
He's really good. Okay, here we go. This is for you.
Ooh.
In the win now category, my dynasty team is missing the tight end position. This is Richard. What tight end should I try and go for to win now? My tight end is Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill's a good tight end. Assuming he wants, he feels like he needs better. Okay, I mean, you just preached about quantity, so I guess it makes sense. Which tight end should he try and go after?
So here's the thing. Unfortunately, you picked probably the worst spot to need in a contending team, right? Everyone knows the obvious. Travis Kelce is probably, if you can somehow get him, that would be the best answer. TJ Hawkinson's also as good, but younger, so he might cost even more actually at this point than TJ Hawkinson. So that's
he should. Man, he's been killing it. I think his price will be extremely high.
Right. So at this point, you're really left with trying to either go for a breakout type guy. I think you're a little bit too late for Dalton Kincaid because Dawson Knox has been out and Kincaid has been doing well. But I don't think you're too late for Michael Mayer. If you believe that he can do something in redraft for the back half of the season, I don't think you're too late for a guy like
he's gonna do better than Taysom Hill? He's
here's the
now.
Thing. There's not a ton out there. Laporta, you're not going to get Laporta.
Mayer? How's that kind of answer?
He said win now dynasty, right? So Laporta, you're not going to get Sam Laporta, bro. That ship has sailed. You will have to pay way too much for Laporta. So guess what?
That could be more. That's probably. You think that's more expensive than Hawkinson, maybe? Because there's a lot of.
Absolutely, probably, so, yeah. There's a lot of Laporta stands out there.
He's literally a rookie, so that usually doesn't happen where a rookie.
So right. So your first path, if you let me finish the whole answer, then you'll get a full answer here. The first path would be try to go for a guy that you believe could be that late breakout type, like a Musgrave or Mayer or whatever. And if that doesn't work, then okay, try to get someone who's average, who's involved in the passing game a little bit. And the two guys that I'm thinking of would be Jake Ferguson of the Dallas Cowboys. He doesn't cost you a ton, but he scores some points. And if you really need to go dirt cheap, like, third round pick, fourth round pick in a rookie draft to get it done, maybe a guy like Logan Thomas, because, that ball is going to him. Jahan Dotson seems like he's totally dead.
He's cheap.
True. Thank you for saving me. Dalton Schultz is a great one as well.
I was going to add that.
Dalton Schultz.
Yeah, so he was one of my guys. We have him on our $500 dynasty team. You know that, right?
We do, yeah.
We have Dalton Schultz, Jake Ferguson, Travis Kelce.
Did I just list off guys we have in our team? Shoot.
Our team. Now that's a win now.
That is a good team.
And it's tight end premium. So those guys, they're always in our flex. Like always, like they're just, hey, what's up? I always see you in their flex.
Yeah.
Thoughts on trading?
One comment, real quick. I see one comment saying, go get Cole Kmet. I don't think the cost to do business is worth it. That's why I'll say no to that one. Dalton Schultz will cost you cheaper.
That's not going to do nothing with Taysom Hill too. I probably would rather start Taysom Hill.
Damn. Wow. I mean, you're not wrong though.
Yeah, I mean
Not
Taysom
wrong.
Hill gets 20 points sometimes. So, and this guy's probably not in a tight end premium league, where Taysom Hill's less valuable.
For sure.
Do I trade Waddle for Pacheco and Kittle? Yes. Blake, yes, do that. I have 2 Josh Allen teams, 8-2, 7-3. Everyone's overreacting. Yeah,
Keep killing it.
reacting to I don't even know what. I guess to the firing of the I don't even know. Because this
I
is
think
not
we're all looking at real football way too much.
Yeah, that's what I was about to
That's
say.
what it
Yeah,
is.
it's real football. I want a guy who's just throwing every time. Jameis Winston's one of my favorite fantasy quarterbacks. Like the guy can't even get a job now,
I
but
want to hurl in
he
my
threw
mouth.
for 5,000 yards. Well, favorite. I mean, it depends. I don't mean like
I know
he's
what
like
you
Tom
mean.
Brady to
But
me. I don't. Favorite could mean different things, but like, he was a guy. I mean, actually, I had people like cuss at me, like do crazy, like unsubscribe for recommending Jameis Winston that 1 year, and he did great. 5,000 yards, 30 touchdowns. The other stuff he did that was bad didn't really hurt us that much.
yeah,
And that's Jameis Winston. He doesn't get the rushing stats that Josh Allen does. So think of Jameis Winston, couple less picks, stronger arm, better quarterback, and gets the rushing stats. I'm talking about Jameis Winston's one miracle year where he threw 5,000 yards. Not a joke with Bruce Arians. Yeah, no
30
joke.
touchdowns, baby.
Yeah, you're getting a far superior guy. Even with all these mistakes, you're getting a far superior Jameis Winston. And Jameis Winston that year, maybe I'm wrong. He finished like QB6 around there.
That's fantastic, bro.
That was
That's
great.
amazing.
Yeah, I had people furious with me for recommending Jameis Winston. I don't get it. You can't win. I mean, if your pick is good, it seems stupid, and people get mad at you. And then if your pick is bad, people get mad at you and leave. Like
You can't win.
You can't win in giving fantasy advice. Because I remember the comments so vividly because he said something about like you're an idiot. This is the last time I'm ever listening to you. I'm unsubscribing. You recommended Jameis Winston over Matt Ryan. I was right, by the way. And then he cussed in Spanish, but depending on what dialect, like what part of the country is from, it was slang. And to this day, I couldn't translate it. He cussed at me so hard because only some of the words translated. To this day, I have no idea what he told me. QB4. I recommended the 4th best quarterback.
No, that's a smash hit.
I don't just recommend. And then people see me draft him. I remember that year, Kyler and Jameis back to back in the IG Experts League. Back to back. I think Kyler was like QB9 that year. He didn't run much. He was still a QB10. Like he didn't run much, but he was solid though. I mean, it's Kyler Murray.
Oh, that's such a great Jameis Winston QB4. Are you kidding me?
QB4. And Josh, think about how much better Josh Allen is than that QB4 Jameis Winston. He's far superior in every way. In every way. Like every way. Like, and people are that scared. Ooh, he has a new OC. Okay, what? James Cook's gonna turn into prime Dalvin Cook? Like, I don't know what's gonna happen. What are you guys scared of here? I don't know. I don't get it. James Cook's gonna turn into prime Derrick Henry. That's gonna happen. Right. Yeah. He's gonna just be the best, a top 3 running back in the league. Just top 3.
30 rushes every game.
Nah, he can't even turn into Tony Pollard. How's he gonna turn into Derrick Henry? Dull Guitars as Dynasty. Chris Godwin. We're getting a lot of Dynasty questions. Chris Godwin and a 4th for Tank Dell. Well,
okay.
Yeah. That's a smash.
Man.
Get Tank Dell.
How do you feel about Tank Dell, dude? I'm kind of nervous about him.
Yes. Look at his quarterback. No, the times have changed. You gotta.
You're right.
We have to change quick. We have to adapt. Yeah, we have to adapt.
Yep, you're right.
It's a different NFL, dude.
Go get yourself the younger receiver because a 4th-round pick is no difference.
Nothing. I love getting rid of 4th-round picks.
Oh, my favorite.
How would you attack the draft with 6 first-round picks and 4 seconds? This is kind of not a yes or no question.
Okay, I got you. All right. I'm going to do everything in my power to get, assuming it's super flex, at least one of these guys. If I can get multiple, that'd be great. I'm going to try to get one of Caleb Williams, Drake May, Marvin Harrison. I'm going to for sure try to get one of those 3 top guys with one of those picks. We talked about the Mount Rushmore of tight ends, and in my opinion, this is one of the last years where you can get a rookie tight end before the classes of tight ends kind of go down for quite a while. It's going to be quite a little bit until we get one of those uber tight end prospects. So because of that, Brock Bowers is another name that I do want to have on my radar for the first round. So you get one of those stud trio guys and Brock Bowers. Can you get a couple more receivers in the first round? Then you'll be able to get running backs who will fall, because nowadays in Dynasty, everyone hates running backs. Nowadays in the NFL, no one's drafting running backs. You can get those guys in round 2. And in my opinion, Couch, I prefer some of these 2024 RBs to guys like Roshan and Kendre Miller. I'm being straight up with you. I think these guys are a little bit better. I'm not gonna hate. I'm not gonna sit here and say Kendre sucks and Roshan. I still like those guys too, but I like these guys as prospects slightly more. So it is a good class. It is a talented RB class that you can take advantage of with those 2nd-round picks. But I mean, again, you really want to make sure that you're hyper focusing on, the top end talent there, because you do want to get some of those guys take advantage. Fill out your receivers because that's where the dynasty trend is going, and then from there, use those 2nd-round picks, hit on some RBs, try to get a competitive roster going.
That's like 10 players. That's a lot. So update. I maybe I totally misunderstood this, and I didn't, because I don't read well. I'd get AJ Brown and Mike Evans for Tyreek. Yes, go get AJ Brown and Mike Evans. Yeah. That's not even close. Okay, that blows the tiebreaker easily, because you get a bonus Mike Evans. Yeah,
it's a great bonus.
Just because Tyreek Hill had an incredible start to the season and blew up, and then next to his name he has wide receiver 1. Like, that's just really sexy. But people that watch football, and then if you look at it, okay, AJ Brown, he's probably like wide receiver 3 right now. It's like, it's not that much of a difference. And AJ Brown had a terrible first 2 weeks, and then after that, he's been balling. He's just been amazing. So, yeah, I mean, that's a no-brainer.
For sure.
This dude's got Mike Evans is going to now be like his wide receiver 4. Like, he's just his flex. That's great. That is.
Wish I had that on my redraft team right now.
That trade is easy. Probably the easiest trade question I've got this year.
In a while, for sure. Oh yeah.
Okay. All right, we're gonna move on, Matt. We're not gonna digest your team that much. Wait, did I click this or Drew? Anyway, we'll read this since it's highlighted. Richard asks, I have all my picks for 24 and 25. What would you offer for Laporta? I'm going to try and get him. 25 first and second.
Right, easy money. Done.
You
got to give him more than a first, because, you are buying at a quote unquote the wrong time. Laporta's already blown up. Laporta's already gotten significant hype around him. He's already, captivated the dynasty community. Can you get a first and a second in a bad class? I would do it easily.
Nino, needed RB upgrade for playoffs. Who do you think? Do you think I overpaid? Traded Diggs and Connor for Gibbs and Pittman. Yeah, I think you overpaid, because Diggs is
a stud.
I mean, Diggs, I think, is wide receiver 4 still right now. Yeah, He's really
See, I
good.
used to be like that. I used to be like, oh man, there's really not a huge difference between the wide receiver 4 and like the wide receiver, I don't know, like 15 or whatever Pittman is probably going to finish as something in that range. But
It
there
is
is, man.
huge.
There's it's
It is
huge.
huge. It just it
Yeah,
is. It is.
it is the fact. You're right.
Get her done. Would you trade Evans or Puka? Is that what you for Montgomery or Josh Jacobs? He says puke, which is either
I think Puka,
it's got to be Puka, yeah.
and I think he must mean Mike Evans because any other Evans I can think of is like super low guy, like
No,
Chris
it's Mike
Evans,
Evans.
Darrington Evans. That's Mike.
Zach Evans. Would you
Zach.
trade? I mean, this guy's. Would you trade Evans and puke for Montgomery or Josh Jacobs in redraft?
It's really about Puka here. Me.
I probably wouldn't. I would not.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Would you trade White for JSN? That's silly. That's absolutely silly. Keep Rashad White.
Oh, redraft? Hell no! Come on, man.
That's
No.
absolutely silly. We just got done glazing Rashad White. Probably wasn't in the beginning of the podcast when we were just glazing up Rashad White up and down, like
buy for free, baby.
yeah, we had that graphic up. We couldn't stop.
Pull it back up. Bring it back up.
Yeah, we're not
there.
done.
It is.
We're not done. We're going for leftovers here. I have Kelsey, Laporta, Hawkinson. Oh my God. I'm trying to trade the guy that just lost Andrews. I need running backs. He has Gus, McCaffrey, Rashad White, James Cook, Karen Williams. Who should I go after?
Christian McCaffrey. Do it.
Kelsey for McCaffrey seems like a great trade.
Oh my God. Yes. Yes.
And then you just throw in something else if you need to. I would throw in something else from the beginning just to get it done.
Yeah, sure. Like a little
because that's the guy that's gonna change. Because the other guys, I think Laporta and Hawkinson's too good for any of those other guys. They're way too good.
You have 3 amazing tight ends. Who are all top 4 is crazy.
He's got the best tight end, the second best tight end. Well, now
the 4th best.
Andrews is gone, so now Laporta probably becomes the 3rd best tight end. Kincaid, while Knox is out, is after him. So I guess Kincaid now is. I'd rather start Kincaid, but we could just say these are the best 3 right now.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Wow. Definitely get McCaffrey.
Go get McCaffrey, dog.
Yeah, just get McCaffrey. Throw in something else. Get McCaffrey. Dude, I can't. I've never seen a team with this stacked at tight. I feel like we could have done something like this, but that's the thing. In the $500 Dynasty, because it's Dynasty, like these these young guys go so early, but I feel like we could have done this. We kind of did. If you look at value, we got Kelsey, Schultz, Ferguson. We got them super late. Like they were all great values.
Even didn't Hayden Hurst crack our lineup like one time, and we picked him like the second to last round or something. Like that was a good pick too.
Hayden Hurst sucks. We dropped him. Why do you have to ruin the moment?
That's all that matters, though. For that late of a pick.
Oh yeah, for the week 1 he did ball out. Yeah, week 1.
Yeah, without Kelsey, when we didn't have Kelsey that week, and he was in our starting. Yeah, that's perfect.
Oh, yeah,
that's a win.
Right. Yeah, Kelsey was
win.
out. Well, yeah, and then we dropped. That was a great drop. We dropped Hayden Hurst like week 4, week 3, something. We're like, this guy is a joke. It was getting bad. Okay. All right. One more. You guys hitting us up with the long questions on a podcast, man. Come on. All right. Last question. This one's extra long, but it is a Dynasty question. So we want to show our appreciation for our newly Dynasty listeners and audience. What's this one? I have Laporta and Kincaid. Somebody used and dropped McBride, so I picked them up on waivers. That's probably a redraft, but still, McBride's like top 6 right now.
Yeah.
Well, maybe
developing real fast.
Maybe with Mark Andrews out, could be top 5. Jeez, that's crazy. Poor Mark Andrews. That's he's been healthy his whole career too, or I mean, he may missed a couple games, but overall been pretty healthy. That sucks. Dull guitar Dynasty. Start 9, 1 quarterback, 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, 3 flex. Starting, what is, man, this is so long, bro. Why do you do this? Starting Hurts, JT, Montgomery, Amon Ra, Olave, Kittle, Puka, Higgins. Third flex can be Tank Dell, Jerome Ford, or Demario Douglas. Also have 3 first projected. Okay, you just made me read that for no reason. I don't
What wasn't
even
even my
know,
question.
bro.
That's a good team. I mean, good for you for getting the 1.1, 1.4. Go get some good players.
Oh yeah, I was zoned out
2.1.
while reading it. At least give him like a little response. Okay, so
Yeah,
that's a great team. You're saying, okay.
yeah, good team. Keep on building.
Should I throw in Hollywood Brown? Yes. There
Yes,
you go.
yes.
Perfect. I see him getting thrown into every trade, by the way, and I go like, just get rid of him. Like whatever. Like we don't.
Yeah.
He doesn't move the needle for anything. Redraft, keeper, or
Well,
dynasty.
a lot of
And
dynasty
does
guys are pushing for Marquise Brown because Kyler Murray is back. So maybe that's why you see him in more trades. I don't know, but I don't know. I disagree with it. I'm with you. I don't think he moves the needle.
So the dynasty man here is AMA. I take it.
Ask me anything? I mean, sure. If you want to ask me anything, go for it.
Yeah, he doesn't have to answer, but you can ask him anything, sure. Oh, okay. He's asking what trades would you make to win? That was the question for this one.
Okay, so Couch, this goes back into one of our tips that we discussed in the podcast just a couple, maybe a half an hour ago. People will send me their lineup and they will tell me, how is my team? What types of moves? What what types of trades do I need to make to win? Dog, I don't know. I don't know what the best team in your league is. I can assess the team, in a vacuum right here in this comment, and I can tell you it's a good team, keep on building. But you are going to need to show me what your competition looks like so you can go ahead and use tip number 6 and size up your own roster and surpass it. That's what you need to do. So I'm not entirely sure. Just looking at the roster, obviously it's a super flex league. It's a 1 QB league. It seems like you're about to get Marvin Harrison, which is really going to solidify and bolster your young wide receiver core. It seems like the only real thing after that you could use would be maybe some youth at running back because Jonathan Taylor is good. David Montgomery is kind of older, and you do need more quantity at running backs. That kind of goes into tip number 5. RBs are going to get hurt. So do you have enough to make a run? As of right now, you don't. So, I don't really have like what trades can you make, but I do have what kind of pieces you need, right? You'll get Marvin Harrison. That's great. Try to get some running backs, and you'll be good. That's the best way I can answer that one.
You can call the dynasty man DDT.
Yeah, DDT, Dynasty Day Trader, Tight End Shaman, Coach Sush.
No, but people don't want to type that much. So Coach Sush works, yeah. But I just DDT, yeah. I'm giving. Yeah. We need to like make, as everyone calls me Couch, So
yeah, I'm with it.
Just say DDT.
DDT.
If you got a question, all right. We're waiting on this question for the next 5 seconds. If you don't answer, that's all good. I want to record this, so I have 6. Yes, not Solly, aka not Solly. Solly's the other guy. He doesn't hop on much, but he writes the Stardom Sit, and he hops on from time to time. He's got a thick New York accent, the thickest. Some would say the thickest.
Oh yeah,
it's very thick. Long Island accent.
Very Long Island. Yes.
We're gonna end the podcast here. I have 6 NFL all day packs. I'm gonna rip. I like recording them, so we're gonna end the podcast. I'm gonna rip them live after that. But other than that, that's it for the podcast. Dynasty Day Trader, feel free to stick around for the 6 pack rips. If not,
absolutely, I will.
Peace out. Okay. All right, guys. Peace. And we're gonna rip these. I like filming them just in case something happens. Yeah, these packs are not great, but
you never know.
There's a small chance you could get a big one. All right, so we start off with always the worst ones. By the way, guys, these are like digital sports cards for the NFL, certified NFL, licensed product of the NFL.
Yeah. What we got? What do we got? What do we got?
Now, this one's you got the worst from the worst to the best.
Hey,
Hufanga.
that's not bad. That's a cool player.
I
Cool player.
So for this, yeah, there's like no chance at a rare or Lego. So we got a Hufanga. Hufanga pick 6 against the Los Angeles Lambs. Okay.
It's not bad. I dig it.
It's a dope play.
Yeah.
And I love the
Good
player.
player
so,
too.
Yeah. Okay. We'll take that. And let's see what's the next. Pro 60.
You know,
There we
people have
go.
always been ripping on the 49ers secondary, but that guy is kind of figuring it out for you guys. Not bad.
Oh, he's great. He's great.
Yeah,
But you got to nitpick though, you know.
for sure. That's how it is in the NFL. Next one.
It's called NFL all day, NFL AD or NFL all day. I'll just NFL all day.
Hey, tight end touchdown, right?
Oh, this is bad rip. I feel like. Yeah. It's Mike. So the other one was a debut. Debuts are worth more. That's his first moment. This is not Mike Gesicki's first moment. So this is a terrible.
Not a good pull. Got it.
Oh,
Okay.
terrible, which is fine. It's all good. We got more. It wasn't it just like I said, we're starting off with the worst packs and just
We're
working our
in
way up.
baby steps. Yeah.
Yeah, so this one there's a higher I think there's a chance of a rare or something. Oh yeah. Yeah, so these are digital sports cards in a sense, but they're actual video plays. So they're technically NFTs, which is dope. I know NFTs got a bad rep, but it's cool cuz like there's no way to cheat. It's on the blockchain. A blockchain is essentially a ledger that you cannot hack, you cannot change. So like nobody can mint, like if they say we're only going to mint one Mahomes for this season, it's on the block. They cannot mint 2 and like, oh, it's secret and no one's going to know about it. Like they cannot do it. You can't damage them. Like it's pretty cool. And the starting prices are affordable. Like what I just ripped, that Mike Gesicki moment, that's like worth 90 cents. That's total crap. So you never know. But Suchet's sticking around because you know the last time we ripped packs live,
Oh my god,
was like the most insane thing ever. I did go back and watch it. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, we pulled the legendary Christian McCaffrey, like the moment I wanted. And
yeah.
That was insane.
It was the moment where you got the receiving touchdown, the rushing touchdown, I think the passing touchdown.
Yeah. Oh
all
my
in
god,
one.
it was so good.
Oh my god, that was just so stupid, dude. It's crazy.
That was my rarest and biggest. That was just the biggest moment. We filmed it too. Well, I mean, it was live.
It was live. Yep, it was live. I remember that. It was hype.
This guy's a tackle machine. Foyer.
Oh yeah, for sure. He was an IDP guy for a little bit.
Yeah, 2-7. Okay, so this was a give it 272. So not a average serial. The serial matters too. So this is 272 out of 504. Okay. Okay, the 25. Yeah, some of these are just one player moments. Can you make money off these? Yes, and you can lose money off this, just like fantasy football.
Fun.
But if you're doing this for the sole purpose of making money, probably not worth it. Like you could, but it's like, I mean, just get a job.
Right.
I mean, it's not that. I love it as a hobby. Like basically same thing as fantasy football. If you're doing it just to make money, probably need to chill out. But if you have fun, yeah, that's great. I have fun doing this. 78.
Jaguars.
Oh, another for you. So I think I got lucky. I got the bonus one. So
okay,
I think like three people or like 20 people got a bonus one. So I got a bonus one. This one's
nice.
a better
That's
serial.
cool.
So I
Okay.
think what's happening is good so far. All right, so these are the biggest ones here. All right, let's see what's up.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Here we
I'm
go.
hyped.
I actually have no idea what these are. I could look at the.
Yeah, I feel like one of them is gonna be kind of decent. I just have that feeling. Maybe not great, but definitely kind of decent.
These are both uncommon. There's 2 moments though. Yeah, I don't think we got super lucky with this. 157 serial. Oh!
Here Gibbs. Hey,
Oh, okay. So okay, we'll take that.
it's not bad.
That's great. I think this was already a given though. Like this was guaranteed to get Gibbs.
Guaranteed. Okay.
I
Okay. Okay.
think. I'm not. No, Gibbs is huge on this platform. I mean, he's a rookie, dude. It's a rookie
Yeah.
mint. Like those are always huge. Let me see if I can look at the.
Man, you know what you need to pull? You got to pull that Michael Mayer touchdown versus the Jets. That moment. Oh my god.
They won, right?
Yeah, they won.
I
10 to
think I
9.
got that. I didn't tell you. I think I basically
Oh
got that.
really, dude? Let's go.
I'll explain. I'll explain after the rips. I'll explain. Yeah, I'll
Heck
explain what I did. I made some moves. It's the same thing.
yeah. And then Gibbs.
Double Gibbs. I honestly don't know what's going on. Distribute this reward pack contains 2 moments, a guaranteed Gibbs and one of the following common or another Gibbs. So I got another double Gibbs. So that's good.
That's better. That's better.
So
Yeah.
this is incredible. Yeah. So I got double Foye and double Gibbs, which is very lucky. So most people just got a regular common for their second moment. So I've been getting lucky. All right. So this one here is 100-yard all-pro reward distributed. This reward pack contains a rare Dak Prescott moment. Okay, so unfortunately, there's no like the only like Jack lottery moment with this is with the serial number. So hopefully it's his jersey or a number 1. Yeah, of course. Oh, and just in time, because I am literally ripping a rare Dak Prescott. So if it is a jersey or a number 1, it's going to be worth a ton. We'll see what number we get. That's the lottery, the serial lottery.
Number 1 and number 4. I think that's what he wears.
Yeah, I think he is 4. No, we did not get that. We got 109 out of 149. It is what it is. But we did get this Dak Prescott moment.
Yep, it's a rare moment. That's what counts at the end of the day. Dak Prescott.
To Fergie.
Hey, tight end touchdown, baby. We got 2 of them. Hey. Not bad.
So, bro, this is what happened. I'll show you. So, I don't know what happened, but I mean, I took a small L in a way. I sold Jimmy Garoppolo, legendary moment I ripped.
Okay.
I feel like some idiot bought that. These moments they change form.
Oh my god!
I have both.
You have it. You have it.
They change form based on what happens in the season. So it's just like fantasy. So every time they win, they get a point, or every time they have a big statistical performance, they get another point. And so I don't know if that's going to be added on here, but I bought this one a long time ago for dirt. This is like before he did anything. Sure. So I got it for like half off. And then this one was cheap. See the cereals on here? They're pretty good. 6 out of 30.
Oh, yeah.
This is super
legendary Michael Mayer.
So only 30 minted max. It doesn't even mean they will mint 30 because people can burn them. They might not sell them, but it's out of 30 max. And I got the number 6-1. And so right now it's saying there's 2 clips on here. And it's saying they're gonna add one. Was it the most recent game?
Yes, it has to be that one.
So I'm pretty sure it's gonna be that.
Nothing else.
Okay, so that's it. That's got to be it. And they won, so they got. So
let's go, baby.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, I wasn't thinking like. All I was thinking was I have to get rid of Jimmy G and get another Raider, and I was like, well, Mayer's
tight end.
Mayer was the cheapest because Jacobs was expensive. Beautiful. Adams was expensive. Max Crosby was expensive, and Mayer was pretty cheap.
Hey, man, you know why Michael Mayer might be insanely good? Because he's got to go up against Max Crosby every day, one-on-one.
Oh, and Max Crosby's a beast.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
dude. Oh, my God.
Yeah, I didn't tell you. I have his rare. dynamic and legendary
Hey,
dynamic.
well, this is my reaction to it, man. This is my
Yeah.
unfiltered reaction.
So
I
yeah,
love it.
and I didn't know, but it says it's evolving. Pretty much guaranteed that that touchdown's gonna be in here. Oh, no, one other play, week 5.
Yeah, he's got a couple good catches
Yeah, but we're gonna
here.
get the touchdown, which is that his first touchdown? I
That
think
is
that
his first
is.
touchdown. Yeah,
Yeah, so that's gonna be huge. All right, okay,
let's
and then
go. That's
again,
cool.
we're
That's
ending
cool.
it there. That was awesome.
Great way to
All right,
end,
guys.
and on a high note. Yep,
All right,
love it.
guys. Peace out.